been cursed. I've been there first. I showed up when it was a peaceful little town. A couple weeks and then the troubles tracked me down. And by the time the sheriff finally read me out, there were only ashes left across the ground. There ain't no problem big enough that I can't make it worse. Ain't no whiskey of any proof that I cannot outburn. You can say, hey, go to hell, but it done had its turn. Any place, anywhere out there that's been cursed, I've been there first. I crossed the country in a stolen pickup truck. Made it to Bama when the sirens were catching up. Got 32 in pursuit until they crashed. And the tanker flipped and filled the road with gas. There ain't no problem big enough that I can't make it worse. Ain't no whiskey of any proof that I cannot outburn. You can say, hey, go to hell, but it done had its turn. Any place, anywhere out there that's been cursed, I've been there first. I've been there first. Oh, I've been there darker. Started at the bottom, now I'm underwater. Cause there ain't no rest, try and catch your breath. Cause you ain't seen nothing yet. There ain't no problem big enough that I can't make it worse. Ain't no whiskey of any proof that I cannot outburn. You can say, hey, go to hell, but it done had its turn. Any place, anywhere out there that's been cursed, I've been there first. I've been there first. There ain't no problem big enough that I can't make it worse. Ain't no whiskey of any proof that I cannot outburn. You can say, hey, go to hell, but it done had its turn. Any place, anywhere out there that's been cursed, I've been there first. I showed up when it was a peaceful little town. A couple weeks and then the troubles tracked me down. And by the time the sheriff finally read me out, there were only ashes left across the ground. There ain't no problem big enough that I can't make it worse. Ain't no whiskey of any proof that I cannot outburn. You can say, hey, go to hell, but it done had its turn. Any place, anywhere out there that's been cursed, I've been there first. Across the country in a stolen pickup truck. Made it to Bama when the sirens were catching up. Got 32 in pursuit until they crashed. The tanker flipped and filled the road with gas. There ain't no problem big enough that I can't make it worse. Ain't no whiskey of any proof that I cannot outburn. You can say, hey, go to hell, but it done had its turn. Any place, anywhere out there that's been cursed, I've been there first. I've been there first. Oh, I've been there first.
The writer Michael Ende once said, "Nothing's ever really lost. It just changes shape." Faulkner said it a little rougher. "The past ain't dead. Hell, it ain't even past." We like to think we leave things behind us. Truth is, we're just walking around in the echo of them. That's the Firecracker for you. Oh, they still run a race down in Daytona in the summer. Pushed it back to August now. Put a soda company's name on it. Run it under the lights. But it ain't the same. Doesn't taste the same. Doesn't have that raw, sunburnt soul the Firecracker used to have. So let me take you back a minute. Big Bill France didn't pour all that concrete just to let it sit quiet till February. That July heat needed a little fire of its own, and a few ticket sales wouldn't hurt either. So the Firecracker was born, and for a good long while, it was sacred. 4th of July fell on a Tuesday, a Thursday, whatever, didn't matter. If it was Independence Day, it was race day. And that Florida sun, it does not play fair. Big Bill had it figured, though. Green flag at 10 sharp, so a man like Richard Petty could take the checkers, be on the beach with a cold drink in hand, and watch the fireworks by sundown. Pretty picture. But that asphalt was a beautiful kind of nightmare. By the back half of the race, that track was hotter than a griddle, and a car that handled like a dream in February could turn downright ornery in July. Boys were sitting in steel ovens for 4 hours straight, sweating through their gloves. That heat didn't care who you were, either. In '92, on Richard Petty's own goodbye tour, President of the United States sitting right there in the stands. The heat got him, too. Knocked the king himself out of his own farewell race before it was even half over. Cale Yarborough now, he just made it look easy. Came into July of '68 fresh off a Daytona 500 win and flat dominated the Firecracker. Led nearly wire to wire, won by 2 whole laps. No fuss, just brute, sweaty dominance. 3 years on, Bobby Isaac had a different kind of fight. His hood pin snapped clean mid-race, and the hood started peeling back toward his windshield, lap after lap. Most men pit for that. Isaac just kept his foot in it and drove on to win anyway. But David Pearson, the Silver Fox, now he played chess at 180 miles an hour. Coming up on the white flag in '74, he knew Richard Petty had the run on him. So he eased off, let Petty slide right on past like bait, then rode that draft right back around him coming off turn 4. Pearson said later he figured Petty just slingshot past him anyway if he stayed out front, so he made sure he wasn't. That, friends, is rhythm. Tonight, our heroes won't have to breathe that 100-degree Florida air. But don't kid yourself. They'll be wrestling these 2-ton steel monsters around a digital track that's every bit as slick and unforgiving as it ever was. And that idea that nothing's really gone, just carried forward in a new shape, that's why tonight's about more than racing. Every lap out there tonight raises money for the Headstrong Project, fighting for the mental health of the veterans who wore this country's uniform. What they carry doesn't just disappear when the war's over. It transforms, too. So buckle up. We ain't chasing the shell of that thing that runs in August under the lights. Tonight, we're bringing the real one back. Same month, same cars, same fire.
It's Saturday. It's time for the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp right here in the Slingshot TV booth. And tonight, we are bringing you Racing for a Cause from the sands at Daytona. Daytona International Speedway sits in the heart of Florida, just a few miles from the beaches where stock car racing was born. Since it opened back in 1959, it has been one of the most iconic venues in all of motorsports, a place where champions are crowned and the history of NASCAR has been written. The track was so ambitious in scale that engineers actually had to account for the curvature of the earth when they designed it. That famous 31-degree banking was carved from the dirt, dug out to form Lake Lloyd, which still shimmers right in the center of the infield. Most fans think of Daytona for the 500, but the very first race here was a 100-mile sports car event back in April of 1959. An 18-year-old, bright-eyed Mario Andretti was even in the field, taking some of his first laps towards that legendary career. And just to give you an idea of how massive this place is, you could fit Churchill Downs, Yankee Stadium, and the White House, and even the Roman Coliseum inside Daytona's infield, all at once, and still have room to spare. Chris, that's a lot of real estate for these drivers to navigate in these heavy 1987 stock cars, and plenty of room for trouble. What are you going to be watching for over the course of these 80 laps tonight?
Well, it's to be around at the end of this thing. You first got to survive the opening laps, and when the green flag drops, these drivers, they're going to be getting after it. And Ellis, this is not Kyle Larson or Ryan Blaney's Daytona. This is Richard Petty's and Cale Yarborough's Daytona. And this Daytona, it is unforgiving. These drivers tonight for this special event, they have 80 laps ahead of them. Around 40 laps on a tank of fuel. That's going to make for some interesting pit calls, possibly. And 4 sets of tires total, 1 on the car and then 3 in the pits. It's going to be a night filled with action, Ellis, and I can't wait for that green flag to drop.
There's going to be a lot of action, but maybe the most important thing tonight, you're going to hear about this a lot this evening, folks. Tonight's race is a charity race. It's benefiting the Headstrong Project that helps American veterans get the vital mental health care treatment that they so much need. So tonight during the broadcast, you can donate to the Headstrong Project using the Super Chat function. Okay, the Super Chat function, super easy. If you have any questions about it, let us know. We can go over it during the broadcast. But all money raised will help provide veterans with that free mental health care counseling. You're going to see some stories about how vital that service is throughout the broadcast tonight. We're also going to be doing 6 giveaways, massive giveaways. Card Gorilla has given us 3 full boxes of NASCAR Panini Donruss 2026. That's right. The newest cards are potentially going home with you tonight, folks. We're also going to be giving away 3 sets of American Service members' diecast cars, patriotic U.S. theme, military theme diecast cars that are up for grabs as well. You can win those simply by chatting in the chat. That's all it takes. You just got to let us know you're here. Let us know who you're rooting for. And we're going to choose 6 lucky fans to take home those prizes. Now, let's talk about some of the other stories that we're going to be following tonight. Chris, 4 main things I'm keeping an eye on over the course of the evening. And the first one is a bit of a dilemma that drivers face coming into any draft-style track. And that is, do you go early or do you go late? Where do you want to run over the course of these 80 laps?
Yeah, I just think it depends on the situation that you find yourself in early on. If I qualified up near the front in the top 5, I might be willing to race pretty early. This is not the same Daytona and Talladega, or Daytona in this case right here, that you see on TV today. Passing here requires you to have some finesse. So I think that it's going to be dependent upon where you qualified at the beginning of this race.
And Chris, you mentioned this isn't Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson stock cars. These are 1987 stock cars. The handling is going to be a premium. How do you get a handle on the handling of a car that can be quite finicky over the course of a run on fuel?
Yeah, it's kind of like a quasi super speedway race / intermediate race. Like you have like the the tendencies of both, and as the tires begin to generate some heat, as they begin to experience more and more wear, these drivers are going to be spending more and more time out of the throttle in the middle of the corners, which is something you're just not used to seeing at current modern day Daytona. And so that's going to require these drivers to have some finesse out here and to look after that right front tire and try to preserve it for later on in the run.
Speaking of tires, there very well could be some green flag pit stops tonight. You got to be careful getting onto pit road at the right, proper, legal speed, and maybe making sure you have a draft partner with you when you come down to pit road. Drivers going to have to be on the lookout for tonight. And the thing that we're always talking about that's lurking behind everyone's shoulder at Daytona and Talladega, Chris, it's the big one. Is there anything you can do to avoid being caught up in it?
I mean, a lot of it does come down to luck, Ellis, but there are some things that you can do. Putting yourself in good position and keeping track position for the majority of the race, that just narrows those odds up just a little bit. Just makes them a little bit more smaller that you get yourself caught up in the crash. And if you do get caught up in a crash, Ellis, do you take that quick repair or do you try to save it? That's the big question, the big gamble that these drivers are going to have to take tonight.
Hey, well, we're going to see all those stories come to fruition in just a few moments. But before we get there, folks, it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition here at Slingshot TV. Folks, rise and remove those caps, if able, for the playing of the national anthem. We'll be right back. Back here live, getting ready for the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. Without further ado, now we're going to hear from the Headstrong Foundation for the command to start engines.
Hi, I'm Olivia, Marketing Manager at the Headstrong Project. And to Slingshot TV, tonight's racers, and to everyone tuning in, huge thank you for supporting our mission. As an active duty Army wife and the granddaughter of a World War II veteran, I understand the sacrifices that our service members make every single day to protect our nation's freedom. And far too often, when our veterans take off the uniform, they're left without the care, support, and resources that they deserve. So at the Headstrong Project, we're working to change that by providing world-class PTSD treatment to our nation's veterans and their family members at no cost, without wait lists or red tape. Your support tonight directly funds that life-saving therapy for veterans. So if you want to learn more and you want to help veterans triumph over trauma, visit theheadstrongproject.org. Now, without further ado, start your engines.
Folks, back here live in Daytona, getting ready for the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. It's time for your starting grid. Where's your favorite driver starting tonight? Peter Smetana in the number 43 machine, starting on the pole with A.J. Stevens in that number 31 machine to his right side. After that, it's Aaron Smith, a familiar face here on Slingshot TV. Aaron's coming from third tonight in that bright yellow number 70 machine. Jack Mace in the 007 will start fourth, along with Connor Walbeck starting in the fifth position. Looking through our starting grid here, making sure we got everything in order. 6th is going to be Patrick Millett in that number 38 machine, with Joe Sullivan in the number 15 machine. Moving further through the field, on to row number 4. It's Dustin Lewis, as well as Scott Dross. And this is, we're doing our best with the grid here. It's changing as we move through this live. Yeah, go ahead.
Might have to use the iRacing qualifying order.
All right, good idea. Absolutely good idea. We'll go ahead and take a look at the 8th position is Patrick Millett. 9th position going to be Scott Thompson in that number 75 machine, with Scott Dross in the number 2 machine starting to his outside. That's the first 5 rows.
Yeah, and rolling off in the 11th position, the number 14 of Corey Branch. He's going to be starting on the inside of row 6. And on his outside, Gavin Bruce starting 12th in that number 13 machine. Aiden Schramm, and if you've watched Slingshot TV, you've seen that name here. He's going to be rolling off in the 13th position. And on his outside, Laura Wiseman, another familiar face here on Slingshot TV. She'll be starting 14th. Hunter Drew is going to be rolling off from the 15th position in that number 32 machine. And on his outside, Kenny Campos, who had some speed in practice, he's going to be starting in the 16th position. Rolling off in the 17th position, we got Zachary Mitchell, and on his outside, we got Stan Drew rolling off 18th. And rounding out the top 20, Ellis, we got Jordan Hall and Randy Gross in the number 34.
Rest of the drivers didn't take qualifying times. Blake Hewlett starting 21st, with Andrew Teft in that Racers Elite machine starting in the 22nd position. Ryan Hinkle in the Mountain Dew machine starts 23rd tonight, with Matthew Moniak, a late entrant, starting P24 on the outside of row 12. Ryan Warp, also in Racers Elite. He's gunning for the win tonight. He's going to have to come from 25th, though. Brandon Vees will be to his outside in the number 65 machine. Adam Rowland lines up 27th in the number 66. Jonathan Stidham, P28 for the number 22 machine. Alex Gates starts 29th in the 78, with Cam Gillens lining up 30th in that 07 machine. Curtis Eckert, number 08, comes from 31st tonight, with Steve Vest starting P32 on the evening. Folks, it is going to be an awesome, awesome race. You are in for a treat. These 1987 cars, not much out there like these things. They are going to be a wild, wild ride around this track. Chris, how fast will these things go down the straightaways?
We'll see them 200 plus down the straightaways, approaching 210 miles an hour, especially on these fresh tires early on. A lot of things to keep your eyes on here early on, Ellis. As you mentioned, these cars drive very differently than the modern stock cars around Daytona, and shifting them is very difficult. I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all if we see some missed shifts right here on this opening green flag.
Missed shifts might be something we follow throughout the evening. Peter Smetana, AJ Stevens, they are your leaders. They're going to be looking to lead the field towards a green flag, a clean start for these drivers. Peter Smetana on the inside, AJ Stevens to the outside. They come down the front stretch, approaching the tri-oval. The pace car pulls off. They're looking for the flag. They see it. Green flag's out here in Daytona for the Simperior Fire Classic Summer Classic. Smetana, Stevens side by side. A bit of a stack up further back through the field. It looks like all drivers have gathered themselves and got it back underway, though. Smetana, Stevens side by side with Aaron Smith and Jack Mace. It's a pack of 6, including Joe Sullivan and Connor Wallback, 2x2x2 for the first time down the super stretch.
And Ellis right here, 2x2, as you mentioned, this is the time right here where that outside lane has the most grip it's going to have all night long tonight. So if you are side by side right here, you want to try to make the most of these positions, because later on, it's going to be very difficult to make up ground as we see AJ Stevens out to the lead.
AJ Stevens takes a clear lead over Peter Smetana, who's a man on an island going through the tri-oval. It's going to be Stevens who leads lap number 1 at Daytona. Smetana just looking for a hole to fall into, dives it to the inside. Driver's already lifting off the throttle, going into those corners at upwards of 210 miles an hour. The battle going on down the backstretch for third place. Fourth place between Smith and Smetana.
Yeah, we got Smetana right there. He's kind of hung out on the inside lane right there. I think that lane is going to be the lane that kind of prevails later on right here. But right now, there's power in numbers right here. And you see Aaron Smith going by. That's Scott Dross right behind Aaron Smith in the number 2 machine. He's up there on the outside right there. He's trying to utilize the draft off the 70 to clear Smetana. But Ellis, we know Peter Smetana is very good in these cars. And that's not going to be an easy pass to make.
It is not going to be an easy pass to make at all.
Aaron Smith!
Loose into the wall, somehow saves it. That's Scott Trost, I believe, in the number 2. My goodness. We about had a big moment there. All drivers going to have to be careful off of turn number 4. Headed down the front stretch, I should say the back stretch. That was turn 2. 3 wide, Aaron Smith up top in no man's land, as it looks like Scott Thompson and Aiden Schramm also going down there below. Dustin Lewis got to be careful in that number 33 machine.
Yeah, what a scrum we have right here. What a gaggle of cars that caused right there. A great save by Aaron Smith that was caused by a little bit of contact entering the corner. I believe it was from behind. And if we have the ability to go side by side right here, we might be able to look to see what happened to Aaron Smith. That's Scott Dross in the number 2 approaching. A little bit of a stack up on entry right there. Everybody's kind of giving some space. And yeah, Dross gets into the back of Aaron Smith, gets that number 70 sideways. But as you mentioned, Ellis, he does have a little bit of damage, but that could have been a whole lot worse.
It could have been a whole lot worse indeed. Got through it cleanly, and everyone, to my surprise, I should be surprised. I will say, I think we mentioned in pre-race, but these drivers do have one quick repair. In case something goes awry, they very well could get back in it with a quick repair. Folks, you've got some exciting stuff as well going on. You've got an opportunity to win one of 3 NASCAR Panini Donruss Racing 2026 Blaster Boxes, courtesy of Card Gorilla. You're going to hear about them a little bit later over the course of the race. But all you got to do to have a shot to win this one, we're going to be giving it away in just a couple laps. Get those comments in. We're going to choose one of you lucky chatters in the YouTube chat to take home that box of NASCAR cards absolutely free. Make sure to get those comments in. We're going to choose a winner on lap 10, so keep an eye out. Mickey Moniak, I should say. Moniak in the 3 might have just had problems down the backstretch just a moment ago. Way off the pace in that number 3. Looked like he turned loose off turn 2, Chris.
Yeah, it looks like he did have a moment right there. He's significantly off the pace. He did tag the wall a little bit, got a little bit of free, but man, he did a great job holding on to it. And we're still green right here. I mean, look at this traffic as you see right here, Ellis. Is the 48. That's Kenny Campos sliding up the hill right there. That's Gavin Bruce cutting him a little bit of a break right there, letting him in line. Campos's car.
Oh boy.
Looks like that car has a significant push off of turn 2.
And he was keying up. I think he might have damage or something going on. I heard him on the radio. One car a little bit loose. I believe that was Gavin Bruce in the number 13. He's been fast in some of the practices we've run. Look out for Gavin Bruce. Now, I am curious to take a look at some of the biggest movers so far. Randy Gross, Chris, very impressive.
I know
we big trouble. Was
Gavin
that Bruce?
Yeah, Gavin Bruce into the wall right there. Oh, keep it up there, Gavin. Cars coming by on the inside right there, but it looks like everybody is going to escape, and we're still green. But yeah, he got a little bit free off of turn number 4. I'm not sure exactly what led up to that, but yeah, pretty significant damage on that Valvoline machine.
And you could see it affected the number 14 machine as well. That's Corey Branch got caught up in some of that trouble. Corey going to have to get that damage repaired, but these drivers will carry on. We're still under the green flag. Of course, 7 laps of 81 car. Another one in the wall. That might have actually been the number 43. We'll return to the live scene here to make sure we are all caught up with the action on the track right now. Headed down into the corner. Up front, Chris, it's still A.J. Stevens. They've minded their P's and Q's up there so far up front. As we take a look at how Stevens' race has gone so far after starting second, hey, you got to like where he's sitting right now.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one thing that I mentioned right here. You know, these guys who started up here near the front of the field, they're wanting to try to keep this track position because as the tires begin to wear out, you're going to start to see some separation. We already have a little bit of separation right here. It looks like between about the 11th place car right there of Scott Thompson back to 12th place Randy Gross. And I think we're going to see more of that as the race goes on as we ride on board right here with A.J. Stevens looking back at Jack Mace in the 07.
Jack Mace lurking in the background right now. Just going to ride on board. Take a look at a little bit of that telemetry right now from the leader, I should say, AJ Stevens, riding off the back of it. You can see we lost our miles per hour on that, but we'll try to get that back here shortly. Chris, how nervous does it make you if a driver is lurking that close? Even at Daytona, I know where bump drafting is often encouraged. Things could go crazy in a hurry, and having someone breathing down your neck like that, not exactly the most comforting situation.
Yeah, well, just look at that rear spoiler there, Ellis, as we look back from A.J. Stevens. As these drivers get closer and closer to the rear bumper of the driver in front of them, it's going to make that car ahead of you loose. Sometimes it doesn't even take a bump draft. Or just an air bump, as we saw Scott Drosta in the back of Aaron Smith earlier. Sometimes just being close to the rear bumper will turn that car sideways in front of you, because these guys didn't have a whole lot of downforce back in the day, LSA. They laid these spoilers down, try to decrease that drag, go down these straightaways quicker. It was all about who's going to be the bravest. And that's something we'll have to watch as this race goes on, as we got one car on the inside, a few cars back right there. That's Dustin Lewis trying to make a position up on Joseph Sullivan. Oh, Sullivan got a little bit tight right there off of turn 4. That's going to enable him to stay side by side. Got the 38 back behind them. That's Patrick Millett watching this battle, trying to figure out who to follow.
Dustin Lewis, of course, driver number 33 out of Waycross, Georgia, not too far down the road from where I'm at. Fan favorite, Dale Jr., favorite driver, maybe taking a little bit after Dale Jr. here, running pretty far up at Daytona, looking pretty good. Chris, he's a teacher. He's a teacher. How about that? Cool. We got at least three teachers in here right now. Having a good race for Gavin. Got to be careful not to slide up in front of that number 38 of Patrick Millett right now. But, hey, good race going so far for Dustin. We've seen him on the channel before. Folks, as promised, it has now crossed lap number 11. We are ready to give away one of these blaster boxes of Panini Donruss 2026 cards, courtesy of Card Gorilla. You can check them out at cardgorilla.com for everything you need. The winner of that pack, or box of cards, I should say, Robin Ann 100. Robin Ann 100. Robin Ann 100. You can email us at ssracingleagues@gmail.com. The directions to claim your prize are in this video description. You can find out how to claim your prize in the video description. Our email address is there, and the directions to claim that box courtesy of Card Gorilla. We look forward to that. We got 2 more boxes to give away. We got some die-casts to give away. Lots of things on the tap for tonight, folks.
Lots of exciting things happening right here as we watch right here. A little bit of separation right here, going back a little bit further in the field. There's Laura Wiseman on the bottom right there. Ellis, she's trying to make up a position right here. Oh, one car possibly up in the wall. I think that is Jonathan Stidham right there, but he's going to get it straightened out right there and kind of hung out to dry right there on the outside lane, as these drivers are getting more and more laps on these tires, generating more and more heat in that Goodyear rubber.
Jonathan Stidham, of course, out of Mineral, Virginia. It's a Mineral, Marie, Virginia, that Virginia driver. Carson Hocevar, favorite driver for Jonathan Stidham in that red, white, and blue machine. Just trying to hold off right now a couple of other drivers, including Andrew Teft and Alex Gates. I know we've got some Teft fans and some Gates fans in the chat right now. Chris, when do you expect handling? So you watch Laura White, or the number 32 machine of Hunter Drew, drop back a little bit. When do you expect handling to really play a role here?
Well, about the lap 10 mark is where I expected to see it, and they're a little bit past that right here, so you're probably going to start seeing a little bit more separation in these cars in the center of the corners right here, and I think that's kind of what we're seeing. This pack right here, led by Laura Wiseman, is from 15th all the way back to about the 21st position. Curtis Ecker at the tail end of it, and we're starting to see some people making some passes on people who might be handling a little bit rougher than what they are, but you see there are just packs, just like little clusters of cars. Some packs of just 3, some of 6, and I think that those are going to begin to spread apart as well, and we'll have even smaller and smaller packs as this race goes on.
Yeah, you're looking at drivers that have really come up through the field. Everyone's, the biggest one, maybe Curtis Ecker, sitting back in 20th position right now. Curtis having a pretty good run. Just looking at his race recap over the course of the evening, you see, you want to see a line going up. Chris, what do we call that in math? I don't even know.
A line graph?
A line going
I'm
up.
not sure. Yeah. I just know if it's going up in this sense right here, that's a positive.
If you're a math teacher, let us know. Hey, folks, speaking of math, we got 6 prizes to give away tonight. We've already given one away. That leaves us with 5 prizes left. We're going to go ahead and give a diecast set away on let's say lap 22 or so. About 7 laps from now, we'll let you folks have the opportunity to get that in right now. But we're going to give away a 3-car American Veteran diecast set NASCAR paint schemes. I believe those were back in 2007 that they ran those, as we watch quite a pack of cars right now, led by A.J. Stevens in that number 31 machine. And boy, oh boy, Chris, A.J. Stevens has really led much of this race. Does the car handle any differently out front?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You've got all the clean air on the nose of that car. And I've noticed AJ, we got one car sideways.
Ooh.
Patrick Millett, he's going around.
Millett down through the backstretch. Millett down the backstretch. A couple cars involved. The 78 machine of Scott Thompson also involved in this collision. I don't think we have a yellow. Still green flag conditions on track. Chris, it looked like the 38 just wiggled a little bit.
Yeah, just got a little bit sideways right there. We'll go back to see if we can see that. But yeah, that car got sideways. Aaron Smith was trying to make the pass on the inside of him. And we talked about how these drivers are going to start experiencing more and more handling issues. We'll go back right here and watch this, and especially up there on that high side, when you get side by side, because you can see right there, he tagged the wall, got a little bit sideways right there, got into a tank slapper, tagged that car on the inside. That was a 75 of Scott Thompson. But both the drivers, they didn't spin out on the racetrack. That's why the server did not throw the yellow flag, so we're still green.
And what I'm really noticing, Chris, we've seen this top 8 or so kind of stick together. It's a pack of 8. But once you go to 9th, really about 2 3/4 seconds back, and it's like 2 separate fields have emerged. You can really tell, like you mentioned, the drivers that are handling well and maybe not so well. You got to go a little bit further back to 14th to find Andrew Teft in that number 8 machine kind of involved. Battle for the lead. As soon as I said that, Jack Mace in that 07 going to get right on by. Great job for Jack Mace in the 07. One of our international drivers tonight out of the United Kingdom, out of Leeds, and his favorite driver, Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, and you see right here a little bit of movement on that bottom lane. We've got some side-by-side double wide action right here. 15 machine. I believe that is... that's Joseph Sullivan followed Jack Mace up into the second spot. Dustin Lewis sideways off turn 4. He's going to save it. Great save right there in this lead pack right here. But, yeah, we're starting to see maybe a little bit of errant handling on some of these cars, Ellis, and that's why we're seeing this jockeying for position going on.
How on earth did Dustin Lewis hang on to it? I have no idea, folks. Get those chats in. Get the comments in. All of you who are chatting entered in to win a free 3-car set, American Heroes from NASCAR Winner Circle back in 2007, kind of matching the service members theme we have going on tonight. Of course, you've been seeing at the bottom, we are raising money for the Headstrong Foundation, providing free mental health care for veterans who need it most direly, with all the headaches and hassles involved, and getting that health care and mental health care from other providers. The Headstrong Project has made it much easier, and you can make sure you are part of that mission tonight by super chatting us. Any amount, even $1 helps, folks. Even $1 helps. All of that money that we raise, including all of our driver entry fees tonight, goes straight to the Headstrong Project. We're not keeping a cent, and you can help us kind of be part of that mission by super chatting your donation, and we'll send it straight to the Headstrong Project. Chris, battle for the lead. It was only a matter of time before Aaron Smith made his way up to the front of the pack.
Yeah, and it looked like he had about 50 more horsepower on that lap right there. He passed several of them by himself on the bottom. He had a big run, a big tow, and he decided to take it, and he had the grip. He had the tire to be able to hold the bottom, and as those drivers kind of stacked up on the top lane right there, he elected to go past them all on the bottom like that. And you can kind of see right here, riding on board with Aaron, how they're kind of taking almost like a diamond line. That kind of speaks to why it's so difficult to run side by side and how you really need all that track. But Aaron made it look easy right there, as he has apparently saved a little bit of tire right there to be able to make a move like that.
Saving tires is going to be a premium. Of course, we know Aaron Smith loves to save tires. Big battles going on up at the front right now, but some battles further back through the field, looking around the 14th, 15th position around Andrew Teft, Laura Wiseman, Andrew Rowland, who are riding on board right now. Chris, he's moved up 11 positions along with Alex Gates. I know we got some Alex Gates. In fact, Danielle Hewitt, Alex Gates is my dad in the chat. We got
cool.
Rusty Williamson rooting on Alex as well. So great job right now for Alex Gates, I believe, in that number 78 machine, of course. Alex has moved up 13 positions on the day. It's a great run going on for Alex Gates right now in that machine. Chris, we're going to be getting ready for some pit stops probably in about 10 to 15 laps or so. And I think it's time we take a step away, not for a commercial. It's a commercial break, but folks, we want to let you know what Headstrong Project is about. So we're going to take a quick step aside. You're going to be able to still see the racing on one side of the screen, but take a look at the Headstrong Project's mission. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
In military battles, victory requires loss. In life's battles, it does not.
I was the first person to hit a tripwire IED in Iraq. It detonated a bomb large enough that when it hit my door, it threw this 9,000-pound armored Humvee flying through the air and landed in a canal running adjacent to the road. Helicopter took me to a camp in Baghdad. Doctors worked on me there to Germany to Wall Street Army Medical Center in DC. And that's when I woke up 6 days later on Christmas Day as my parents were walking in.
Armed with the proper treatment and tools, U.S. veterans battling service-related trauma find the strength and support to triumph over it.
I've had a lot of victories since my injury. There's been a lot of moments. Some are big, some are small. Headstrong is a program that is all about those small victories.
The Headstrong Project offers stigma-free mental health treatment to U.S. veterans.
Too many men and women try to battle this on their own. Letting depression take over your world is giving in. It is giving up. And I would encourage a fellow veteran, get that help. Go through Headstrong.
Join us in giving veterans what they need to triumph over trauma. Donate today. Triumph tomorrow.
Back here live in Daytona, folks. We are raising money for the Headstrong Project. You just heard from them there. An important mission, often overlooked, the mental health of America's veterans who have given it all and put it all on the line for each and every one of us in the United States. Some great racing going on right now in the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. Aaron Smith continues to be the leader. Jack Mace, of course, in second position right now. Chris, is anyone standing out to you in terms of who seems to have the best handling cars, putting us right around 8 laps or so away from pit stops?
Yeah, I think that move by Aaron Smith that we saw coming up through the field, that was super impressive. I've also got my eyes on Joseph Sullivan because he was tracking right there with Aaron Smith. Joseph right there is in the 4th position in that number 15 machine. So yeah, that was a very impressive move by them. And I'm also looking at a couple drivers, Ellis, that have moved up through the field. You know, a little bit further back from this pack, we've got Alex Gates, who's up 14 positions to the 14th position. He's looking pretty strong as well. He's in that that Gulf oil machine in the number 78. And, or actually, no, that's not that's a different car. I apologize right there. There's Alex Gates right there in that number 78. little bit of red, white, and blue maybe going on right there. But yeah, he's definitely on the move as well. And a couple cars behind him, Curtis Ecker as well. You can see these drivers that are moving up, Ellis. Those cars, he's up 14 positions. Oh, it gets a little bit sideways. I think we had some trouble in front of him. That's Laura Wiseman.
Laura Wiseman
had an issue.
Yeah, and there was even further issues a little bit further back that started with Scott Dross. And there is the yellow flag out here on lap number 28 out of 80. We had almost made it a little over a third. Dross still struggling right now. I believe it was the Dross spin that brought us under caution in that number 2 machine. You can see him on the exit of turns 3 and 4, Chris. The handling really starting to show up for these folks.
Yeah, and Scott Dross, that as you mentioned, Ellis, that is where this sort of incident happened. It started off of turn number 2. If we go back just a little bit here, Johnny, he got a little bit sideways. And we'll go back all the way right here off of turn. Yeah, you see it right here. He got tight, and see these drivers kind of going further and further up the track. Got tied on the exit of turn 2 right there. Had some contact from behind. And it looks like that was the number 25 machine. I think that was Jordan Hall tagged him. That gave some damage to Scott Dross. And coming down here, he had no rear downforce, Ellis. That whole rear bumper was pushed in. Spoiler was probably knocked off as well. And that thing went for a ride right here and is going to put us under caution for the first time tonight.
Under caution for the first time, and I would imagine we are going to see some some yellow flag pit stops here on lap number 29 of 80. Aaron Smith leading the way. And while we wait for those folks, some important developments, and we're talking about the purpose of tonight is for some good fun racing, but also raising money. We just had 3 massive super chats come in. Thank you, Roger Gates, JD McHaley, and Joshua Kane. Just donated almost total of $100. Thank you so much as we follow the race down pit road right now. Let's see where these drivers stack up on pit road, Chris.
Yeah, we got Aaron Smith making his way down pit road right here. Got Jack Mace. Got several cars right here. All these cars right here deciding to come down pit road and get, no doubt, 4 fresh tires.
Oh, yeah.
Pack that thing full of fuel as well. These drivers can't make it to the end of this race at this point, but this puts them in position, Ellis, if we do go green, for a possible splash and go maybe towards the end of this race. If we do see green flag pit stops at the end right here. These pit stops take a little bit longer. They got the 1987 pit crews right here as Jack Mace is going to win the race off of pit road, it looks like. At least out of all the drivers who took 4 tires, Ellis, Connor Wallback is going to come off pit road in the 2nd position, and Peter Smetana was the 3rd one off. And it looks like Aaron Smith, Ellis, getting his damage fixed the old-fashioned way, electing to hold on to that quick repair.
Interesting choice. I like that choice. I think that is a great choice indeed. Right now, going to take a look at who our biggest movers are over the course of the race to kind of see who's been moving up and down through the field. You can see them on the screen right now. Of course, we're talking about names that we've mentioned throughout the race. Moniak up 23 spots, Curtis Ecker, as well as Alex Gates. Those are our biggest movers, but we mentioned Aaron Smith repairing some damage, Millett repairing some damage earlier in this race, and also Scott Thompson. Folks, we talked about it. We talked about the NASCAR Blaster Box from Panini, provided from us so graciously by CardGorilla.com. We're going to go ahead second and hear from our friends at CardGorilla.com to find out what they're all about, and if you're into NASCAR cards, or maybe you want to be into NASCAR cards, how they can get you the hookup. We'll be right back after hearing from them. Welcome back to the action. Whether you're hunting for a signed sheet metal patch card of Chase Elliott, chasing down Kyle Larson's short prints, or trying to complete your master set of Donruss Racing, there's only one place you need to go: CardGorilla.com. CardGorilla is the ultimate pit stop for NASCAR and racing trading card collectors. From the latest factory-sealed hobby boxes to the exact singles you need to finish your driver collections, they've got the inventory to fuel your hobby. Stop scrolling through messy auction sites and paying double for shipping. CardGorilla offers a massive, organized selection of cards, secure packaging, and lightning-fast shipping that would rival a 12-second 4-tire stop.
Don't let your collection sit idle. Head over to cardgorilla.com today and see why they are the undisputed king of the collecting jungle.
You are looking live at the Tri-Oval here at Daytona Super Speedway. Over a third of the way through this race, approaching the halfway point of the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. Boy, benefiting the Headstrong Project, we've already raised roughly $500 total, including your super chats and your driver entry fees. Of course, we also want to mention that all these drivers tonight are entered in to win a free Simperior button box, a custom red, white, and blue machine that you'll see in just a little bit. I know these drivers are going to be wanting that. Even if they don't take home the checkered flag tonight, they could take home an equally cool prize. Folks, I told you we're going to be giving away that NASCAR 3-car set, Diecast, Patriotic Diecast. We're going to choose one lucky winner to win that, and our winner is going to be Rusty Williamson. Rusty Williamson, you are the winner. You can find the directions to claim your prize in the YouTube video description. Whether you want to claim it now or after the race, the directions are there. Rusty Williamson, you are the winner. Right now, we got 30-plus drivers chasing the win. They're led by Jack Mace in the 07 machine, who crosses the line to take the green flag for the second time tonight. We are restarted and back underway at Daytona. Mace gets a big jump on the rest of the field. Wallback and Sullivan slide back into second place, followed by Peter Smetana, as well as the number 31 of AJ Stevens. Big move from Connor Wallback.
Yeah, Wallback to the inside right here, and he has got help. That's the number 15 right behind him. That's Joseph Sullivan pushing him down the backstretch and put those two up to the first and the second positions, Ellis.
A little bit of coordination and teamwork going on there potentially between Wallback and Joseph Sullivan. They leave Jack Mace kind of in the dust, and you've got another 2-car pack with Peter Smetana and AJ Stevens. Everyone kind of selling it out right now. Alex Gates and Dustin Lewis, though, they're side by side, 11th and 12th position right now. A battle just right outside the top 10. Dustin Lewis on the outside. You can see the wiggling back and forth. Chris, they got to feel better on these fresh tires right now on lap 33.
Oh, they feel so much better. And for many of these drivers that you're seeing right here, people like Randy Gross, people like Andrew Teft, who they had lost touch with that main pack because of just a little bit of separation. They have now caught up to that pack with this timely caution. And, they feel like they got new life at this point with those Goodyear tires right here, as Jack Mace is going to go back to the lead in that 07.
Jack Mace is your new leader. Wasn't out of that position for too long in that 007, but Andrew Teft and AJ Stevens, a little bit of a battle going on a little bit further back. I should say Aiden Schramm and Andrew Teft. You can see a battle going on for the 6th position. Chris Drew might have just had an issue. I believe that was the number 5 machine. We'll see if he got a little bit of contact with the wall indeed. These things, they'll go right up and just kind of take off from you, Chris. And we saw not AJ Stevens, but the number 5 of the 88 of Stan Drew have trouble with that just a moment ago.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find out what happened. I'm currently going back right here to look to see if I can find it. Yeah, he just got a little bit, it looks like he's actually having some connection issues possibly right there. So it's kind of hard to actually show what happened right there with his crash. But hey, so far so good. Fingers crossed. We haven't seen too much of that out of these drivers tonight as far as connection issues go. Everything has been really nice and clean out there on the track so far, as we look in at Aiden Schramm right there, Ellis, in the number 86. And if you watch Slingshot TV, you might be familiar with that name, Aiden Schramm.
Yeah, he won the EPI race for the seat. Of course, Elite Performance Industries, we ran that during the summer, where they got to choose one factory driver to support in the official NASCAR series on iRacing. Aiden Schramm did a good job then. He is doing a great job right now, running inside the top 10.
3 wide.
Boy,
they get close right there.
I would not want to be in that 3 wide at all right now as we take a look at Aiden Schramm. Kind of everything he is about. Kyle Busch, favorite driver racing that black and red and white paint scheme, is Aiden Schramm in that number 86 machine. And lost a couple spots here in the last lap, but he's going to get right back in it looks like here as he drops back to 9th position, now setting his eyes on Dustin Lewis a little bit further ahead. Lewis just went by to his outside.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing right now is that you can't lose your head in these early, stages of this run right here because there's going to be a lot of jockeying for position. All these drivers feel like Superman out there. Look at this stack up right here, entering turn 1 right there. Schramm, nice heads up right there to not drive into the back of Dustin Lewis. And as all these drivers, Ellis, fight for one single groove, that's what you're going to see more and more of those stack ups on corner entry.
It ain't easy at all. And right now, Chris, I'm just impressed with the caliber of racing we've seen, especially with the closing race of some of these cars. We talk about the 1987 NASCARs, Chris. That was the first series that Slingshot ever ran when we used to operate as a league. And we chose the name Slingshot because these cars are so synonymous with the Slingshot. We've rigged up a bit of a draft meter. I'm curious if we can ride on board with some of these drivers. And you can kind of see the speed differentials when they get in the draft and they pick up a good bit of speed. That's kind of what slingshots them by the driver that they are trying to pass. You can kind of see the draft tracker there. In tow is when drivers are kind of running similar speeds. Then you have a little bit further up when they're getting a run by a couple miles an hour. And then when they're 6-7 miles an hour over the car in front of them, that's when they're in the Slingshot. And you kind of ride on board right now. I believe we're riding with Curtis Ecker, who's chasing down Aiden Schramm, Chris.
Yeah, he's looking ahead at that 86. And you see kind of see in the corners, they kind of go for different lanes. The mentality right there, Ellis, is that you want to maybe have a little bit of clean air on the nose in the corners. But when you get to the straightaways, you want to be lined up in the draft. That car in front of you cutting through the air, pulling you along. Right here, they are nose to tail in the corner. You can see Aiden Schramm's actually kind of peeking a little bit low right there, trying to search for some clean air before he gets back in line in the toe of the draft of the car in front of him.
That draft so important here at Daytona. Curtis Ecker trying to chase down Aiden Schramm. Chris, great race going so far, about 39 laps in, almost to the halfway point, folks. We got plenty of more giveaways to hand out tonight. We've given away 2. We got at least 3 more left. Those giveaways, of course, provided by cardgorilla.com. You heard from them just a few moments ago, and you can find more information at their website, cardgorilla.com. But up front right now, Peter Smetana making a bit of a run on the inside or the outside right now, Chris.
Yeah, he is. He's up there on that outside lane right there. And I think that if you want to win this race tonight, Ellis, I think you're going to have to go through that 43 car. He's got a lot of experience on super speedways. And particularly, this type of super speedway racing, these old 1987 cars. And, he knows what it takes to be around at the end of these things and to keep that car handling over the course of a long run. So, not surprised at all to see Peter running the top 5. He's been up there for most of the entire race so far.
Most of the entire race. Of course, one driver that's moved up through the field, Aaron Rowland, in that number 14 machine. Aaron having a great run going on, currently in the 14th position, I should say, in that number 66 machine. Impressive run. You take a look at kind of his story of the race so far, and boy, he is definitely one of the biggest movers over the course of the evening.
Yeah, he definitely is, and you see him right there. He's electing to run that outside lane right there, that car directly in front of him. I believe that's the number 78 of Alex Gates, who has a lot of fans in the chat. But yeah, he's looking to get a little bit of clean air on the nose by running that top lane, and it looks like it's paying dividends right here. He's going to get side by side with Gates, but you can kind of see the fire out of the exhaust of that 66 as they got side by side right there in the tri-oval. Difficult to run side by side, Ellis. In that, we got one car in the wall. I think that's Randy Gross up ahead. Difficult to run these cars side by side in the tri-oval at the speeds they're running with the lack of downforce.
Oh boy, still wiggling.
Down
Randy Gross and number 3200 Drew. Big collision. It's going to bring the yellow flag out. Big trouble for Hunter Drew, who almost got on his roof down the backstretch. Puts us under caution for the second time tonight, Chris, and you called it. We were kind of watching Randy Gross and the number 88 of Stan Drew there, and things just did not work out the way either one of those drivers would have liked. We're going to see if we can't find out what happened to driver 32 and 34. They both kind of went down the track a little bit.
Yeah, this is actually number 32 of Hunter Drew right here. And yeah, you see right here, they get side by, yeah, that's a tough position to put somebody in that late on corner exit. Probably should have just got in line and rode right there as yeah, Randy got out of shape right there. Tagged the 32 of Hunter Drew. That's the 25 right there coming along with nowhere to go. That's Jordan Hall. Unfortunately, he is going to collect the 32, get a lot of damage, but as long as he saved that quick repair and as long as Hunter Drew has as well, these drivers were able to get their cars back around to the pit lane. They'll be able to take that quick repair and get back in this race.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about Drew and Randy there. They took on the most damage, of course. Laura Wiseman, as well as the number 25 machine. Of course, talking about Jordan Hall, took on a little bit of damage there in this lap number 42 scrum, putting us under caution for the second time tonight. Think we're going to see any pit stops here, Chris? Maybe is this close enough to maybe getting them to lap 80 where someone might try it?
Yeah, if I'm like around the 10th position, I would be definitely considering coming down pit road. Right, and you can see right here, the leader is shading like he's coming to pit road. But here's the question, Ellis. If you do come to pit road here, and it looks like it's going to be feeding time at the zoo down here, are you going to take 4 tires, or are you going to just splash that thing full of fuel right here with as few laps as we ran under green right there?
I am liking the fuel call potentially with just maybe less than 10 laps on those tires. So drivers going to work their way down pit road right now. We'll see who's going to come on. Yeah,
he slid through his pit stall there. Yeah, he slid through his pit stall right there, had to put it in reverse. He's taking 2 tires, the right side's jacked up on that car. The 98 of Connor Wallback, he is going to take fuel only. Several cars taking fuel only right here. Oh yeah, and Mace is actually taking 4 tires. Interesting call right here with, past the halfway point. Yeah, we'll have to see right here if this pays off for Jack Mace.
You just wonder if you're going to be happy that you took those tires, if this maybe sees a long run, develop from what we just saw here. We'll have to keep an eye on that over the course of the race. Folks, we're going to key up another giveaway. Chris, what do you think? We're going to give away another card set here from Card Gorilla potentially. What do you think? You like that idea?
Yeah, let's do that.
Folks, let us know, do you want to win a free, not a pack of cards like we normally do. We're going big time tonight, guys. We're giving away 3 blaster boxes. Of course, Rob and Ann already won one of those from Card Gorilla a little bit earlier in the race, but now you've got the chance to win the 2 remaining. You're going to win one of those. Get those comments in. Any comment counts. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. Who's your favorite real-life NASCAR driver that you watch on Sundays? If you're normally not tuning into sim racing, but maybe the real thing, let us know who you're rooting for. We got some fans already chiming in the chat. Danielle Hewitt saying they want to win. They want to win the box of cards from Card Gorilla. They so generously provided that. Chris, you collect trading cards? You ever collect cards before?
I've never been into collecting cards before, but and I'm afraid that if I got into it, it would become a very expensive hobby for me.
Hey, you can't say anything, but I just bought an older box of unopened NASCAR cards on eBay. Don't tell my wife. She might be listening now. She might hear me in the other room. I didn't pay a whole lot. It's like less than $20. So it's great. But you can get those types of deals from cardgorilla.com. It can become an addicting but a rewarding and fun hobby right now. We're not rewarding a winner yet. We got about 35 laps. We will choose a winner for that NASCAR card box in about 5 laps. Around lap 50, 51. You got 6 laps or so to get those comments in, folks. And don't forget, you can super chat to support the Headstrong Foundation. We've already raised roughly $500, of course, between driver entries and your super chat donations tonight. Help us get even higher and provide that so much needed mental health care for our nation's veterans and active service members. Right now, Kenny Campos, Chris, pit road. Campos leads him off in that number 48. I believe he actually didn't come down pit road, which is why he is up front in that 48 machine right now. A couple of drivers electing not to make their way down pit road. Campos, one of those, but I think he might be a sitting duck. He might be the only one out there on old tires.
Well, a lot of these drivers are on just fuel only. Yeah, so he's on the same tires as some of these guys up here near the front. But yeah, we got some 2 tires mixed in here. I think the first driver off pit road on 4 tires is actually going to be Aiden Schramm in the 86 with Jack Mace sliding through his pit stall right there. Schramm was able to pass the 07. So yeah, Campos is going to need some help to be able to make it to the end of this thing on fuel. He's going to need some more caution flags. But he's elected to stay out right here and get himself some track position, and we'll see if it pays dividends for Kenny.
We'll see. This might be something other drivers are keeping an eye on potentially. Taking a look at Kenny Campos to see if he can't walk away with a win tonight. Of course, there are 30 other drivers that are going to have something to say about that right now. Pace car makes their way down pit road. It's going to be on Campos to get him going. Green flag flies for the 3rd time tonight. We're back underway at Daytona on lap number 46. Just 35 laps left here from Daytona. Campos in that crimson number 48 machine. He's got a mirror full of Connor Wallback, pushing him down the front straightaway into turns 1. They've got, I believe, the 15 of Joe Sullivan lined up on the inside up top. That is the number 98. The number 31, I believe, of A.J. Stevens, and the number 98 of Connor Wallback. 3 wide. They're leaving behind Campos, Chris. You said he needed help. I don't know if this is the help he needed.
Yeah, Peter Smetana was pushing the 48 of Campos, but he's elected to hang him out to dry right here, entering turn 3. Smetana goes by the 15, Joseph Sullivan trying to make it work in the middle right there. Aiden Schramm slides up to the top lane, back behind Jack Mace right here. Yeah, Kenny Campos, a little bit of a sit and duck right here.
15
Contact.
sideways. That's the number 15 of Joe Sullivan. He takes Campos with him. A big old spin through turn number 1 and the grass underneath it, putting us under caution for the 3rd time tonight, just 2 laps after the initial one. And boy, Chris, that collected a handful of drivers. We'll see who that took with him. Campos, did we get lucky there? The number 48 maybe being one of the only cars involved here in this incident.
Yeah, just the 48 and the 15 right there involved in that. And, yeah, we mentioned before how hard it is to run side-by-side in the tri-oval. It's even harder to run 3 wide, and a little bit of give and take right here probably could have went a long way right there. I think that if Kenny Campos had that back, he might – I could see him breathe the throttle just as they made contact. I think he might have done it a split second earlier, you know, if he could have that back right there. But, yeah, Joseph Sullivan goes for a wild ride. Kenny Campos got into that left rear right there and kind of went for a wild ride as well in that number 48. No malicious intent right there with the contact. It's just close quarters right there in a very difficult section of the racetrack.
Difficult section of the racetrack indeed. We've all been in our fair share of incidents through that particular portion of the track. Of course, working lap 48 of 80 here. We are past the halfway point, and this has been an awesome one so far. Speaking of awesome, Rusty Williamson, appreciate that. A $20 super chat donation going straight to the Headstrong Foundation to provide mental health treatment for our nation's veterans suffering from PTSD. So needed, but so little talked about. And with that being said, we're going to take a moment here to play another story of one of the veterans who's benefited from the Headstrong Project and everything that they provide our veterans. You'll see any drivers coming down pit road on the side of the screen while we go ahead and hear from the Headstrong Project. We'll be right back.
My name is Pasha Palenker. We live in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I served 17 years in the Army before I was forced to medically retire. Did multiple deployments to Iraq and Africa. There were 3 significant incidents that happened to me that continue to have an impact on my life. The first one was in April 2005 when I went face-to-face with a suicide bomber. The second one was I had an IED that blew up directly under me, and that happened in September of 2005. Whatever the cumulative impact of these multiple head injuries, it catches up to me. The thing is, when you've been through trauma or head injuries, where everybody wakes up with a glass that's full of water, you wake up permanently with a glass that's half empty. So I would just be by myself, angry, in pain, like numbing my pain through drinking. And that's where suicide was not only real, but it was a logical option. I knew I needed to talk to somebody, so I reached out. I went to Walter Reed. It was in April. They gave me an appointment to see a therapist in June, which then actually got pushed to July. And after an hour and a half of filling paperwork, I had my first appointment, and the second appointment, I just walked out in the middle of it. That therapist was just going through the motions. It was terrible. I couldn't talk to the person. And then when I found out about Headstrong, I filled out a 7-question questionnaire. The next day I got an email. The day after that I had a phone call. 2 days later, I was talking to somebody in person. The treatment I received from Headstrong came at a perfect time. Jessica, my Headstrong therapist, she basically held my hand through that period of me coming out of rock bottom. And because of that, she helped to alleviate one of the biggest causes of my self-destructive behavior and allowed me to get back to the person that I used to be, allowed me to become a better father to my children, a better husband to my wife. Just 2 years ago, I was completely done, like broken. I couldn't function. My relationships were strained. I started to get some help. These new habits that become a huge part of me in order to live with my trauma opened all kinds of doors and opportunities for me that I never even would have imagined. So now I spend a lot of time speaking in large crowds, people, stuff that I never thought I'd be able to do. I'm a parachute demonstrator. I jump into high-profile events like football games, NASCAR races, and that started because of the trauma that I experienced and learned to overcome.
Welcome back. If you're looking to bring the true feel of a race car straight to your sim rig, you need gear built by people who actually spend time behind the wheel. That's Simperior. Simperior is a small US-based company run by real and active sim racers. They build high-quality, race-inspired button boxes engineered to put complete control right at your fingertips and make your cockpit race-ready. But for Simperior, it's about more than just selling hardware. They're deeply committed to growing and giving back to the very sim racing community that inspires everything they do. Upgrade your rig and support the community. Head over to Simperior.com today. That's Simperior.com. Built with precision, backed by experience.
All right. Back here live in Daytona. Drivers headed down that backstretch half a lap before we go racing again with 30 laps left. Past the halfway point. One of those drivers going to take home a winning championship or a Firecracker Summer Classic Champions ring for winning the race. And one driver is going to be drawn at random to win one of those 6 button boxes you saw on the screen just a moment ago from our friends over at Simperior. Their link, Simperior.com, but also in the YouTube description. Check them out. Absolutely awesome products right now. Chris, I think we've seen a pretty awesome racing product on the track right now. Just 3 cautions over 50 laps in these 1987 cars at the old bumpy Daytona. Pretty impressive. Maybe we'll be able to put together a nice long green flag run here. It's going to be Connor Wallback leading them down to take the green. The flagman will wave the green for the 4th time tonight. Wallback's going to be the first driver to see it, but he's got competition to his outside. AJ Stevens, who's led much of this race, but doesn't quite get the restart I think he would like. It's going to open the door for that Czech Republic driver, Peter Smetana, down there on the inside in that black machine. Headed down into turn 1. It's Stevens and Smetana, and Stevens got a helping hand from Jack Mace. Looks like Smetana's a little sideways, Chris.
Yeah, Smetana was the one that was getting pushed by Jack Mace right there and pushed him sideways. Mace going to the inside, 3 wide down the backstretch. Peter Smetana has got the push from AJ Stevens, and he's going to have the lead.
207 miles an hour down into turn number 3 for Jack Mace in that 07 machine. Of course, Jack Mace out of Leeds, United Kingdom. He claims he's a short track specialist, but I'm seeing a super speedway draft track prowess being showcased tonight for driver 07 right now. It's a battle for the lead between him and Smetana. Smetana's got the help from AJ Stevens. Chris, top 10, throw a blanket on them all within half a second of each other.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more aggression on these restarts now than what we saw in the opening start of the race, and I think that just speaks to these drivers knowing that, hey, if they want to be up there in that lead pack, you know, we saw about 10 cars in that lead pack earlier. If you want to be up there, you got to get after it on these restarts and can't fall behind and possibly lose touch with that lead draft, because who knows if we're going to go green to the end of the race.
You just don't know what the situation is going to be, whether we might have a caution or we might see another yellow flag. Battle for the lead continues. Look at Smetana jump to the outside of Jack Mace, and suddenly Mace is kind of in the sucker hole on the inside, but it looks like Aiden Schramm is right up there into 5th position, now 4th position. to try to help out Jack Mason, the 07. Looks like they're going to sort it out single file now down the backstretch, bobbing and weaving just a little bit. Got a little bit of laps on these tires as that rubber builds up and the pressures come up to speed. Look at Aaron Smith a little bit further back in 5th position. Smith, the first car now on the inside. He looked like he's bringing Connor Wall back in the number 98 machine with him. Wiggle, big wiggle there.
Yeah, Curtis Ecker got into the back of Aaron Smith right there. Got that 70 machine sideways. Aaron held on to it, though. We're side by side for the second spot again. I believe that's Peter Smetana and Aiden Schramm battling it out for that position. You can see LSC's drivers, they want to make the most of these fresh tires, knowing that this is the time right here where these cars are the easiest to drive them side by side.
What's the saying? Get them while you can, and right now they're trying to get every bit of track's position that they can. A little bit further back in the 17th position, Stan Drew leading a pack of about 8 cars that were all kind of grouping up on each other at an incredible rate of speed. Of course, Drew, Scott Thompson, Joe Sullivan, along with Zachary Mitchell, all back there under a blanket right now, and the speeds are high going into turn 1. Chris, if you're leading this pack, do you want to be side by side, or are you trying to maybe run down those drivers just a little bit further in front of you?
Yeah, if you're possibly going to lose touch with that lead pack right here, you definitely want to try to get this thing singled out right here. But they look like they've got the draft pretty good. Well, one car into the wall right there. That was the Tabasco machine. Oh, the 5, that Stan Drew is around, and he collected Randy Gross.
Stan Drew and Randy Gross here on lap 55 of 80. Boy, we waited a while to have a caution, but it's been a spate of them within the past 15 laps or so. This one occurring on lap number 55, and unfortunately, that is going to collect a handful of drivers. You can see there on the bottom of the screen the drivers collected in that incident. Go ahead.
We had 2 different incidents actually occur. It's going to start with Zachary Mitchell in the number 23, the Tabasco Pontiac. He is going to actually, you see right here, he is sideways. He got collected in kind of like the secondary incident. We'll go back a little bit further right here to show what happened to him coming off of turn number 2. He got up into the wall, got down into the number 5, that Stan Drew, and then, he kind of was still struggling with the handling of the car and collected Hunter Drew as well. Not sure if there's any relation between the 2 Drews, but, super unfortunate right there. For both of those drivers, as we're going to go back and watch it one more time. There is Zachary Mitchell up high right there, tags the wall, kind of gets sideways back. He tries to jerk the car off the wall, and unfortunately for Stan Drew, he gets collected, and then Zachary Mitchell is going to collect Hunter Drew as well.
Unfortunate turn of events here on lap number 56. Just 25 laps left in what has been an absolutely phenomenal race. The comments are coming in, so folks, it is hard to keep up with them. We appreciate you tuning in to what's been an awesome race, and maybe even more awesome is the money that we're raising for the Headstrong Project. Just during this broadcast, we've raised over $100. We raised over $400 from driver entry fees. We are working on that goal of $750 raised for veterans mental health. Second card box from Card Gorilla. We've got a winner. Hopefully they're still watching. Patarino's Cold. You are the winner of that card box. You can find how to claim that prize in the video description from cardgorilla.com. Go to the YouTube video description as we watch drivers work their way down pit road here, watching Jack Mace in that 07 machine work his way down. See if he can't get 4 tires out of him. Oh, he misses it, Chris. Missed it again.
He's taking, he's currently got the right side of that car jacked up right here. And I'm trying to watch right here. And he's taking 4 tires. A lot of drivers taking 4 tires right here, Ellis. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's Jack Mace's last set of tires. I'm not sure about everybody else. I think Peter Smetana may have 1 more left. I think Aaron Smith might have 1 more left. I'm pretty confident that might be Jack Mace's last set of tires right there with about 24 laps to go.
Oh boy. I I definitely have a little sympathy for our buddy Jack Mace there, who's going to be wishing he had some tires as the final 25 laps progress right now. Of course, working lap 57, 24 laps left tonight, folks. It's been a great race. Take a look at some of the biggest movers over the course of the evening. Of course, we're talking about those who have moved ahead, maybe those who moved back. Curtis Ecker. Shout out to Curtis Ecker. Yep. You can see him right there in that bright green Racers Elite machine. Running second currently. Great run for the 08 of Curtis Ecker. Just looking at the story of his race, you always want to see that driver move forward, and you want to see the line go up, and look at that.
Yeah, the great drive right here by Curtis Ecker. We saw him. He was getting pretty racy right there on that last restart, and trying to mix it up right there. So he and Aaron Smith kind of got close together, but we've seen Curtis here on Slingshot TV before, and we know that he definitely knows how to get after it. And right now in the second position, just behind Aiden Schramm. Let's see what he's got right here with some clean air on the nose of that Ford Thunderbird. A lot of these drivers, like Scott Drost as well, Laura Wiseman going to be restarting fourth here. Well, these drivers haven't been this close to the front all night long, and we're going to have to see how, maybe their cars, are going to surprise them by how well they handle right here with a little bit of cleaner air on the nose.
Yeah, talking about those top 9 cars or so from Schramm all the way down to Thompson, who have not stopped in 14 laps. So those are your oldest tires certainly on the track at this point. You're looking at your front row right now. That is Aiden Schramm and Curtis Ecker. Of course, you heard from Aiden Schramm if you watched the EPI race for the seat on Slingshot TV back last summer. Really, really young, talented driver, Aiden Schramm, as they work their way down the backstretch right now. I'll be keeping an eye out on him as well as the rest of the field. Of course, you not excited if you're a driver like Aaron Smith or Peter Smetana, Chris, because they're suddenly finding themselves far back in the field, kind of in the danger zone. We talked about in pre-race, you didn't want to necessarily be way back there in the middle of the chaos, especially as the energy picks up towards the end of the race. How worried if you're on top of the pit box for those two drivers?
There's just a lot of things that can happen, right? There's just a lot of possible scenarios that might transpire here, and it's just hard to predict what's going to happen. It's just a big lottery, The only thing that you can do really is, just make the best possible guess that you can for yourself right now. And, these drivers right there, coming right here to 22 to go, a lot of them may be feeling like they have maybe come down pit road for the last time here, Ellis.
Oh, boy. If you're stuck with what you got, hey, the dice are going to roll and fall as they will. It's going to be Aiden Schramm, Curtis Ecker trying to win the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic and all the accolades that come along with it. Schramm sees the green flag here coming to lap number 59, all out on his own, about 2 car lengths. Schramm picks over Ecker. The battle for third picks up between Scott Dross and Laura Wiseman, who finds herself in the top 5 for the first time this evening on the outside in that number 84 machine. Laura trying to work herself to a top 5, maybe even higher for the win. She falls back in line down low, but you got to go back. It looks like the number 45 machine, along with Alex Gates and the number 78. That is Ryan Warp, Matthew Moniak. Throw a blanket on those drivers. Look at him sail down the backstretch, Chris.
Yeah, high speeds right there into turn 3. Joseph Sullivan's in the middle of this mess right here, along with Jack May. Sullivan received the penalty for that contact earlier with the 48 car of Kenny Campos, and he's looking to work his way back up here through the field right here as, it's close quarters up there for the lead as well. Got racing action all over the place.
You don't know where to look right now. 2-wide battle between Teft, and I believe that is Ryan Warp in the number 45, Matthew Moniak in that black and gold machine, all vying for position. 21 laps left tonight at Daytona. It is going to come down to the wire, folks. Energy in the pack picks up with some bump drafting going up on that top line. I believe that number 8 machine, Andrew Teft, he's got a big helping hand behind him from, I believe, oh my goodness, Jack Mace.
Jack Mace,
Oh my goodness, Chris.
Yeah, that was that was a great decision right there by Jack Mace. That was not going to work out right there, 3 wide through the tri-oval. We've seen the problems with that earlier. He elected to get back in line right here, and now he's going to fall in line with Andrew Teft as we're side by side right here for the race lead.
Aiden Schramm and Curtis Eckert with Scott Drost behind them. Down the backstretch they go. Laura Wiseman up the track on the outside. 4 cars on the outside, 4 cars on the inside. I believe that's Jack Mace trying to figure out where to go on the inside, riding on board. Riding on board right now, I believe, with, we were on board with Laura Wiseman, but take a look at that draft meter. It is picking up. The energy in the field picking up as the leaders side by side as they cross the tri-oval. Jack Mace, and I believe that was Joseph Sullivan.
Andrew Teft with the missing rear bumper, and that car is in the wall.
Teft down the track is going to take out a couple of drivers. AJ Stevens in the 31. All with him. A couple other drivers involved in this incident. At least 4 or 5 collected in turn 2. My goodness. Ooh. That is not good news for a lot of these drivers. We're going to see if we can't find out who was collected in that crash.
Yeah, we had a lot of drivers pile into that crash kind of late right there.
Look at that.
Yeah, it made the damage a little bit more, a little worse for some of these drivers. But it started right there with this number 8 machine of Andrew Teft. We'll go back to see what happened. That car actually wound up with a missing rear bumper, Ellis, after some contact with Jack Mace. And we'll have to go back right here and see if we can find out what happened to that car right here. Looking back right here, I think that's the number 13 machine. We'll see if we can find... right here the number 8 of Andrew Teft, where this 13 is going to pile into the crash kind of late right there. That's kind of a little bit after the fact. Kind of see that right there. It's going to start around the 8 of Teft and the 2 of Dross. They have the initial contact. AJ Stevens as well in the 31. We're just going to rewind back and do it the old-fashioned way right here. The contact right there. Yeah, Teft got a little high right there in the tri-oval. Jack Mace got into him, and that did some damage to the rear bumper, and that car has no rear downforce at all right there. You see how sideways he got, overcorrected into the wall right there in front of AJ Stevens, and watch these cars come piling in a little bit later right here. Actually, I think it's a little bit further ahead right there up the track. We'll see the 45 machine of Ryan Wart. You see him right there. He's another one of those Racers Elite machines. I think he's actually going to make some contact with AJ Stevens after AJ and Connor Wallback just had nowhere to go in this incident up ahead of them. As you see Teft overcorrect into the wall right there. Wart gets sideways right there. The 87 car. That's Blake Hewlett. He's going to be collected. That's Aaron Rowling. See right here, Cam Gillens. Oh, Cam just hit the 66, and here comes the 13 of Gavin Bruce as well, coming in there hot and collecting the 87 as well. So a lot of cars involved in this incident right here with 17 to go.
Yeah, you can see all those drivers, at least 10 cars involved in that crash here just a moment ago on lap 63. Some of them sustaining heavy damage. I think a driver like AJ Stevens going to get that quick repair, though, and should be okay, with a handful of other drivers opting to take that one very quick instant repair. Right now, folks, we're going to give away another set of diecast. You saw it on the screen. We're giving away a 3-pack of American Heroes Armed Services Paint Schemes NASCAR diecast. All you got to do is chat. And I'm going to let you know we're giving away a 9-car set of Armed Services diecast to all those who are entered into the Super Chat. If you've sent in a Super Chat, you're entered to win. We'll choose from our Super Chatters to win a 9-car set at the end of the race. And we've still got another pack of Panini trading cards from Card Gorilla. We still got plenty of prizes left in the next 2 laps. Get those comments in. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know your favorite NASCAR driver is. How's your weather in your neck of the woods? Let us know. All of those comments are going to enter you in to win that 3-car NASCAR diecast set 2 laps from now. Let's see those comments. Get them in, folks. Get them in. Right now, working the caution. Lap 64, 10-car collision. It's going to leave us with just about 15 laps on the restart to settle it out. We got Went Golfing in the chat. Super chat, appreciate that. Tom went with that super chat going straight towards the Headstrong Project. We got Danielle Hewitt. Daniel Hewitt in here as well. Tori Williamson with another super chat. They're coming in, folks. They're coming in. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you in helping our mission tonight to raise funds for mental health for veterans. Right now, Chris, mental health for these drivers up front with 15 laps left. You're the crew chief on top of the box. What are you telling these drivers, trying to prepare them for the chaos that we are about to see if you're on top of the box for Aiden Schramm or Laura Wiseman or Jack Mace up front?
Well, if I'm Aiden Schramm's crew chief or Laura Wiseman's crew chief, I'm telling them that we have packed up the pit box and we are done pitting unless something happens to your car right here in the closing laps, because I think that was a good call earlier. I know it seemed like a lot of laps to go and there's a lot of things that can happen, but I would not want to be further back in the pack right now with, because we know how this thing could wind up, happening right here in the closing stages. We know that we could see some more carnage right here in the closing laps, and they're in the best place that you can possibly be up there at the front. But Jack Mace came down pit road, got 4 tires. Aaron Smith got 4 tires. Peter Smetana, they're still right up there. So it's going to be hard, I think, to battle those drivers on fresh Goodyear tires. But there's not a huge difference. There's not a huge gap in the tire difference between those drivers. So, I think that you're going to want to try to claw and keep as much of that track position as you can right here in the closing stages.
Mention Aiden Schramm scored as your leader. He's going to be the restart leader here. It's going to be 15 laps to go. Hey, winning that 3-pack of NASCAR Diecast, JD McHaley. Appreciate you. You can find the directions to claim that NASCAR Diecast set in the video description. Send us an email. Our email address is there. Follow the directions, and we'll get that shipped out to you absolutely free of charge. 2 giveaways left. We'll talk about those momentarily, but we got 15 laps left as these drivers are working their way. We have trouble down the down the front stretch. One car falling through the field. Maybe Scott Thompson. Not sure who that was, but we're going to see the green flag anyway.
Yeah, Joseph Sullivan had an issue right there. I don't know if he had some type of hardware issue or something like that, but he hung a left right there, and we're back green.
Back green flag racing down into turn 1. There's Jack Mace in the 07 right up to the right front or the right side of Aiden Schramm. 3 wide. It's going to be Peter Smetana to the outside loose off of turn number 2 sideways, but they gather it back up. Laura Wiseman, Aaron Smith, and also the number 3 of Matthew Moniak on the outside. Suddenly Jack Mace has no friends, Chris.
Has no help right there in the middle, 3 wide, a position you don't want to be in right here. He's able to get to the top side, though, right there behind Aaron Smith. Double wide for the 3rd position right here. Oh, almost some contact right there between Schramm and Smith.
Schramm and Smith almost contact, but right now Laura Wiseman going for the lead for the first time today on the inside in the number 84, but the momentum is lost and Aiden Schramm dives to the middle, right in the middle between Aaron Smith and that bright yellow machine and Laura Wiseman, who cedes that position. Smith makes a move down to the left, down to the inside. He's going to try to push Peter Smetana further up front, but Jack Mace is right there as soon as you know it, Chris.
Yeah, Mace right there. A little bit of loss of momentum right there as Aaron Smith tried to push Smetana down the backstretch, and Jack Mace took advantage of it. He's going to try to slide up the hill right here, right in front of Aaron Smith, and he will complete the pass. Smith trying to do the crossover right there off turn 4. Nothing going right there as they get single file.
Aaron Smith back to 3rd position. Jack Mace going to make a play for the lead down to the inside through the tri-oval as they head off down into turn number 1. We're still green flag racing. It's 13 laps to go in the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. I hear on Slingshot TV, benefiting the Headstrong Project right now. It's a 4-car battle up front, Chris. They are very close to each other. Very, very close indeed.
Yeah, 3 drivers lined up on the outside right here. Smetana has Aaron Smith along with Connor Wolbach pushing him down the backstretch. That's a good push right there into turn 3. Ooh, Smetana's up really high right there in 3 and 4. I don't know if he wanted to get that high up, but he's able to hold on to the position right here as Jack Mace is going to slide in between he and Aaron Smith.
Jack Mace now in second place. Smith back to third. It's an 8-car breakaway up front all the way through Ryan Hinkle, the Mountain Dew machine, up into the 8th position right now. Hinkle, of course, started actually in the 23rd position, up 15 spots on the day in the Mountain Dew machine. Let us know if you like Mountain Dew in the chat right now. In fact, let's do this. What is your favorite Mountain Dew flavor? What's your favorite Mountain Dew flavor? We're going to choose one lucky winner to win that final pack of NASCAR Panini trading cards from Card Gorilla. What is your favorite? What is your favorite Mountain Dew flavor right now? Peter Smetana, he's out front, but he's got 8, 9, 10 now. Chris, I believe all the way back through 11th or 10th position has caught that lead pack. More energy, more speed.
Yeah, and A.J. Stevens currently in the 12th position. He is the first car leading that second group right there. They want to try to get organized, see if they can catch up to this lead group right here. Meanwhile, up here in the top 5, Dustin Lewis, looks like he lost a little bit of ground, tried to go to the inside to try to gain a little bit of momentum right there. He had to fall. Oh, a stack up right there. The 86 is around. Aiden Schramm.
Oh, my goodness. Oh no.
Trouble.
That collects a couple of cars. Schramm, Branch, Teft, Eckert, Gates all involved. Mitchell involved in that as well. Comes up on it from behind the 23, and it all started, Chris, I believe, with Aiden Schramm.
It did, and it was a stack up right there. We see these drivers as they all want to try to get in the same line right there. And Matthew Moniak, we're going to see it in the number 3. He was just a little bit slow to get on the brakes right there. And the 3 got into the back of the 86 and turned Aiden Schramm around right there, entering turn number 3. So we'll go back right here to see if we can figure out what happened to the 86 and the 3. You can see the end result right there in that damage. Dustin Lewis up ahead right there. He just got hung out a little bit. He's trying to get back up in line right here. And all the drivers are trying to give a little bit of room. They need a little bit of room entering these corners right here to get through there. You can see a little bit of stack up, and Moniak was just a little bit slow to get on the brakes right there to keep from getting into the back of the 86. And yeah, several cars were caught up in that. It wasn't just the 86, unfortunately. A lot of other ones as well. I think the 14 received some significant damage. That's Corey Branch in the Gulf Oil car. Andrew Teft did a great job of getting through. The 78 machine, I believe that he was also involved. That is Alex Gates, fan favorite in the chat tonight. We're going to actually ride on board right here, I believe, with that. I believe that this is, riding on board with Teft right here. And he sees it go on right here, and he's going to make a move, and he's going to commit to the bottom. Ellis just barely gets by, avoids that 14 of Corey Branch.
Barely makes it by, of course, riding on board with Andrew Teft in the Racers Elite machine. Chris, I believe Racers Elite's got some new leagues going on starting in the next week or two here. You can find out more about them using the link in the video description. Racers Elite, if you're looking for a league to race with, they do great work over there. Of course, Andrew Teft did great work on the track. Aiden Schramm, I don't believe Schramm has had his quick repair used yet. Several cars coming down pit road here, including Connor Walbeck, AJ Stevens, Matthew Moniak, Corey Branch, Jack Mitchell. A lot of cars involved in that last crash, but some cars, I believe, coming to get those final tires, Chris, because this is going to be a restart that probably sees about 6 or 7 laps to go.
Yeah, this is, getting down to it right here. Just to let all of our viewers know, there are 2 attempts at a green-white checker tonight. Hopefully we don't need both of them to get to the checkered flag, but we will make 2 attempts to get there. And, a lot of drivers coming in to take their quick repairs. I can confirm that Aiden Schramm is getting his quick repair, so that 86, that race EPI machine, is getting back out onto the track. Several other drivers that were caught up in that, Matthew Moniak as well, getting back on the track. So a lot of drivers still in the game here. And Ellis, I know you kind of talked about him before, but man, we've hardly talked about him at all tonight until like that last restart. But man, let's give a call to Ryan Hinkle in the 5th position. Started pretty far back in the field tonight. He has worked his way up 18 positions. Finds himself right here. Yeah, finds himself right here in the top 5. And he's making the most of these laps right here at the very end.
Making the most of the laps, indeed. It's been a steady climb for Ryan Hinkle in that Mountain Dew machine. Folks, we asked you what your favorite Mountain Dew flavor was. Daniel Hewitt, I believe I'm double checking here. This is for the final set of Card Gorilla Panini NASCAR trading cards. Code Red. Daniel Hewitt, you are the winner of that blaster box of Panini NASCAR trading cards from Card Gorilla. Find the directions on how to claim it in the video description for this video. We'll get it sent out to you absolutely free of charge. We got another super chat coming in. Big one here, Chris. $50 from Diana Gaze. We appreciate that, Diana, so much. So helpful. 8 super chats tonight. Absolutely
That's awesome.
Phenomenal job, chat. Don't forget, we are giving away that 9-car set. We'll put that up on the screen momentarily. Big set, all of it. It includes the Dale Jr. car, rare Dale Jr. car as well for all the super chatters, no matter what amount. Okay, good. Enters you in to win that via random draw. We'll choose that person at the end of the race. Chris, it's going to be 7 laps to go here. Do you think we're done wrecking?
I hope that we are, but I just, I know how these guys are going to be because I would be the exact same way here in the closing stages of this thing. I'm not going to be a bit surprised at all if we wind up under yellow again and possibly set ourselves up for a green-white checker finish. But, man, I think these drivers have done a really good job tonight. We've had a lot of green flag stretches, especially that sort of first half of the race. I know we've had a rash of cautions right here, but these drivers, they're just getting after it. They know what's all on the line, and they want to try to get all the positions they can get right here on the restart. So I think this restart, Ellis, I think it's going to be pretty wild. I think you're going to see some lane swapping, and I think you're going to see some drivers that are going to try to make the most of their runs right here in the opening lap or two of this restart.
It's going to be wild indeed. Not going to have to wait long to find out how this one is going to shake out. It's going to be 7 laps to go at the line in the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic here at Daytona. One driver is going to take home a champion's ring, a pile full of cash, and the bragging rights. And then in this thing, pit road sees the pace car pull down it. It's going to be Peter Smetana, Jack Mace. They're your front row. Here we are under green once again at Daytona. Smetana gets away cleanly. 3 cars up top. Aaron Smith in third. He's a lonely man on the inside right now. Those 3 cars seem teamed up top at 07. Looks like Smetana closes the door, tries to on Jack Mace, but he can't slam it quick enough. Mace to the inside, has the energy down the backstretch.
Yeah, he's got the push right here from Dustin Lewis. That 33 car lined up with him, pushing him free and clear. Yeah, and the 07 got into the back of Smetana, got him loose, and that braking momentum is going to give Jack Mace all he needs to take the lead.
Jack Mace to the lead. They are jockeying back and forth behind them. Right around Ryan Hinkle in the 8th position. Look at him come off of turn 4. My goodness. Wow, through the tri-oval. We had 4 wide there for a moment as we watched the 2 wide battles continue. Ryan Hinkle further up front, though the battle for the lead intensifies. Dustin Lewis is there now as Aaron Smith finds himself 3 wide right behind him.
Yeah, Curtis Ecker into the wall. Got a little too high on entry of turn 1. That's going to enable Aaron Smith to make the pass on him. They get lined up on the top lane. The top lane's got a lot of momentum right here behind the 70 machine. Smetana's going to make the move right here to the outside of Mace.
Smetana tries to take the lead away from Jack Mace. 2 international drivers battle it out in the American South here at Daytona. The 33 of Dustin Lewis wants to break that pack up, though. He's to the outside with Aaron Smith behind him. Don't look now, but Curtis Ecker and Scott Thompson, the 75, have found their way back in the battle. Chris, A.J. Stevens now up to 8th.
Yeah, A.J. Stevens right here in the 8th position. He has had a tumultuous race here tonight, but he has found himself right here in contention in the closing stages. These drivers getting after it right here. Stevens goes inside 3 wide, and he's got some help from Joseph Sullivan.
A.J. Stevens slings it wide to the inside, trying to get back to that lead that he held so dearly for the first half of the race. Jack Mace almost gets into the back of the number 33 of Dustin Lewis. 1 car a little bit off pace, I believe. That might have been the 87 of Hewlett a little bit further back. That wasn't the 87 actually, but Hewlett had some trouble, I believe. He's dropping back now, but back up front, Chris. A.J. Stevens now to third, trying to claw second away from Dustin Lewis, and the number 33 Stevens has brought Joe Sullivan back up to the top 5, also vying for a win now with just 4 laps to go in the Firecracker Summer Classic.
Yeah, what a move right here in the closing stages from Joseph Sullivan. He has put himself in position right here, pushing right there A.J. Stevens. Great drive for those two up through the pack right here, as Peter Smetana is trying to hold on for everything he's got right here in the lead.
Peter Smetana trying to hold off a hard-charging A.J. Stevens. Coming to 3 laps to go at Daytona. He can't close the door on him. Stevens is going to bring Joe Sullivan with him to the inside, and they've also got the number 98 of Connor Wallback lined up. 3 cars to the inside, 3 cars to the outside. Chris, if you're A.J. Stevens in the 31, do you want to be that far up front?
Yeah, I want to try to keep all the track position that I can get, though they do have a run on the outside, and they can't do anything about it. Those outside drivers, Smetana, Lewis, Mace, they're all lined up bumper to bumper right there and put Smetana back to the lead.
But A.J. Stevens wants to claw it away. They're going to be coming to 2 laps to go here at Daytona. Once they see the white flag, they'll race back to the line. Will they see it? Dustin Lewis gets a bump from Jack Mason, the tri-oval, but they walk away and they save it. 2 laps to go at Daytona. They're going to climb the banking in turn 1. A.J. Stevens still not giving up on the inside.
Man, what a drive from A.J. Stevens. He is hanging tough down there on the inside. That's so hard to do right here in these closing stages. Oh, some contact behind them. Aiden Schramm's getting turned into the wall right there. We have a caution right here with just 2 laps to go.
Caution flag flies with 1.5 laps left. We're going to see a green-white checkered finish. We'll take 2 attempts at it, but this caution on lap number 79 saw a handful of cars, unfortunately, involved in that incident. We'll go ahead and pull that up right now. I believe at least 7 or 8 cars involved. 7 cars involved in this one. Chris, what happened?
Yeah, it's going to start with the 86 of Aiden Schramm. He's trying to battle side by side with the number 8 of Andrew Teft. Let's see right here if we can find that 86 machine. For some reason, it is having a hard time. Let's see if we can find it right here. And we're looking at Curtis Ecker right here. Yeah, I think this is a little bit before it actually happens. This is pretty far before it. Yeah, we'll see if we can go to that 86 machine right here of Aiden Schramm. Schramm is he's going to be the first one that gets in trouble right here, and he's trying to battle side by side with Andrew Teft. Having a hard time locking on to the 86 car. Not sure. Maybe we can lock onto the 75. The 75 of Scott Thompson. Currently, there he is right there in the 10th position. We might be able to focus in on him and go back right here to the crash right here to see what happened. But yeah, the contact is going to occur in front of him. Oops. Yeah. All right. So yeah, this is the 75 right there of Thompson. He is following the 86 of Schramm. Schramm, yeah, that's where they initially get together right there. Schramm turned around right there in front of the pack. Going to be a few other cars that get caught up. I think the 14 of Corey Branch makes a little bit of contact down there in the grass, but they were all able to really keep it going pretty straight right there. But unfortunately for Aiden Schramm, his quick repair Ellis has already been used for the night, and yeah, he's unfortunately he's out of those, so he's gonna have to deal with the damage that he's got.
So they're gonna have at least one opportunity to race back to the checkered flag. It's going to be a 2 to go, a green-white checker to race it back and see who's going to win the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. Peter Smetana and A.J. Stevens, Dustin Lewis, Jack Mace, some of the familiar names. Joe Sullivan back into the top 5. Chris, I'm looking through it, and really anyone who's first through 15th, maybe even first through 20th, depending on what happens, they got a shot to win this thing. Where else can you say that? these drivers going to be going 210 miles an hour down into the corners. You think we're done crashing?
Well, if they get to the white flag, we will continue on. There will not be a caution flag on the white flag lap. So, from what I've seen from these drivers, I think that we'll get to that. I think that we'll get to that white flag. That's my prediction here. I don't think that we'll need a second green-white checker. As far as being done crashing, ain't no way. We're definitely going to have some more crashing right here before the end of this thing. I think the question is whether or not that's going to take place on the green flag lap or the white flag lap. And Ellis, if I'm Peter Smetana, I'm definitely feeling a little bit of pressure right now by the speed of the 31 right there of AJ Stevens. AJ had a lot of speed on that restart. And he made up a lot of ground, got a lot of help from Joseph Sullivan coming up there through the pack, and I think that he's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to hold off that 31.
Several drivers in this race you're seeing right now who have a shot to win it. AJ Stevens, of course, being one of those drivers that we've been talking about over the course of the evening, running up front. AJ looking fast all night long, folks. You got one prize left you could win. Got another super chat coming in from Tom Went in Went Golfing. Appreciate you. Proud to be an American. God bless our veterans. Absolutely, Tom. Folks, we're going to choose one of the super chats to take home that 9-car Armed Services Diecast set you see on the top right hand of the screen as a thank you for helping our mission tonight to raise funds for the Headstrong Project and mental health treatment for our nation's veterans. Chris, overall, so far, we've raised almost $600 all in between driver registration fees and the so generous super chats that have been coming in tonight. One last prize to give away. We've been lucky to have our friends at Card Gorilla give us three boxes of trading cards to give away. Check them out at cardgorilla.com. Also on social media, look up Card Gorilla. Some great breaks being done on that channel if you enjoy trading card content. Dan over there is awesome and certainly a friend of this channel now. Thank you for their support. And Simperior, we can't say it enough. One of these drivers, not necessarily even the winner, is going to walk away with a custom red, white, and blue button box to add to their sim rig at the end of the evening as well. So getting ready for this restart. If they make it to the white flag, Chris, if they can go a lap and get to the white flag, we will have a green flag finish. They will race back to the checkered flag. It's going to be Smetana and AJ Stevens on your front row here. Going to be seeing the green flag momentarily. We're going to see drivers probably maybe let loose with the most we've seen them do so tonight, because this is the pay window. Smetana puts that throttle down, gets a jump on AJ Stevens. Dustin Lewis goes with them across the start-finish line. 2 laps to go. If they make it to the white flag, we race back to the line. AJ Stevens up top pushes Smetana into turn 1. Jack Mace ducks low, takes the hole, lines up now behind Dustin Lewis as they come down the backstretch.
Jack Mace has not been afraid to make it 3 wide tonight. He looks for a position, but actually he's going to get put 3 wide. That's Joseph Sullivan on the inside in the 15. Oh, he makes some contact with Dustin Lewis.
And crash. Will it see the caution fly? It will. We're going to have a race back to the line, but it's not going to be right now. It'll be a green-white checkered finish.
Again, another attempt.
Another attempt, Chris. Another attempt, and that will be the only attempt, I believe.
Yeah, well, no, this was the first attempt. We'll have one more attempt.
One more. The last attempt. The only attempt remaining.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is the last attempt right here. And so I said these drivers are going to make it to the white flag. They proved me wrong, Ellis. It got really, really close right there. They got 3 wide. The 15, Joseph Sullivan was trying to make up position right there. And he got into the back of, so I think that Dustin Lewis was trying to cover the run on the inside. Dustin Lewis is in the lead right there in the 33. Yeah, Smetana, he kind of get together, and then, he moved down a little bit right there in front of Joseph Sullivan, and Jack Mace goes for one crazy ride, spinning around like a top in that 0-7. Yeah, we'll see if we can get an update on Jack Mace before the end of the night from the Infield Care Center. These drivers are just going for it down there into turn number 3, and Yeah, just some contact from the 15 into the back of the 33 resulted in what you see right there. That carnage going into turn 3. Several very, very fast cars taken out in that. AJ Stevens, which we thought might have been the fastest car right there in the closing stages, he was taken out in that, along with Sullivan, along with Mace. Goodness gracious, look at that ride right there from Jack Mace.
Wild ride being taken by several drivers tonight. Looking through all the comments coming in, folks talking about the carnage on the track right now, talking about the great racing that they have seen. This has been a fun one to watch and a fun one to call, certainly. Folks, last chance coming up to get those donations to the Headstrong Project in via the Super Chat feature. Raised almost close to $600 over the course of registration fees and the super generous Super Chats that have come in tonight. But Peter Smetana, he's up front right now, but look at all those drivers involved in that crash. Some of them have a quick repair left. Some of them do not. So this will be it, Chris. If the whatever flag flies after these drivers take the green, that's it.
Yep, that's going to be it. Yeah, the next flag after the green flag will end the race, and I think these drivers are on the 2 to go right now. So you look at who's up there right now. Dustin Lewis is able to get away from all that carnage that was kind of around him. He finds himself right here in the second spot, right here behind Peter Smetana. Aaron Smith in third. And I believe that we've got Andrew Teft right here in the 4th position. He's overcome a lot tonight as well to put himself in position to possibly win this thing. Connor Wallback in the top 5. So that crash has thinned the field significantly, and we'll have to see right here if these guys are able to make it to the white flag. We got our fingers crossed. That's what we want more than anything else. We want him to get to the white flag here.
We want him to get to the white flag, absolutely. Boy, I'm nervous for these drivers. I'm nervous watching it from afar. It's been a great race so far. We couldn't have done it without you fans watching at home. We appreciate the love and support you're showing these drivers and those armed service members tonight that we are racing for. It's been a great race so far. Lots of lead changes, lots of passes, a handful of crashes and carnages as well, which was to be expected at the old bumpy Daytona as the drivers work their way through the trial. They're going to be coming to the 1 to go this time. It's going to be Peter Smetana, Dustin Lewis. That is your front row. And as we mentioned, folks, we've had some cautions here the last few laps, but the next flag that flies following the green flag, that's it. That will be the official finish, and the leader at that point will be the winner. Okay, so AJ Stevens had used his quick repair, by the way. We did get confirmation of that in the chat. So right now, getting our seatbelts buckled for what could be a 2-lap shootout or a 1-lap shootout or a less than 1-lap shootout.
Yeah, we're hoping it's a 2-lap shootout for sure. As these drivers get doubled up, lined up right here, coming right here to receive the green flag here. Let's give a shout out, Ellis, to a driver who has climbed his way up through the field right here in the 10th position. That number 60 machine is Steve Vest. Up 21 positions, started shotgun on the field. And Steve right now finds himself in the 10th position. He has just put himself in position right here, Ellis, avoided all the carnage, put himself in position to have a good finish here tonight.
Get that. Go Steve Vest. We talk about someone you love seeing race the restrictor plate tracks because he's always going to be up front. Seems to have a knack from it. Davey Allison fan from Alabama. You got to be a Davey Allison fan if you are from Alabama. So Steve Vest currently running in the 10th position. Maybe he's got a shot to win this thing. I think you got a handful of cars inside the top 10, maybe all of them, that are going to potentially try to vie for that win. They're going to have 2 laps to get it done here on Slingshot TV. I am waiting with bated breath. Folks, don't go anywhere because at the end of the race, we're going to announce the winner of that 9-car diecast set from the Super Chatters. If you haven't gotten your Super Chat in, there is still time. That money goes to the Headstrong Foundation. Goes straight to charity right now. Peter Smetana, Dustin Lewis. The pace car peels off. It's going to be on them to take the green. Leaders cross the line. 2 laps to go. White flag next time by, but the next flag will end it. The 33 of Dustin Lewis, Chris, maybe missed a shift, did not get going as quickly as he needed to, and it really put Aaron Smith in a good position to dive to the inside to look for the lead underneath Peter Smetana in that 43 machine.
Yeah, and you got to go for it, because if the caution comes out, the race is over, and Aaron Smith goes to the lead right here. Smetana has some help right here from Dustin Lewis. He's going to line up with Aaron Smith right here as the drivers jockey for position from third on back.
They got to make it to the line to get the white flag. Hold on, drivers. Can we get a white flag and race back to the line? It's going to be close. They're almost there. Aaron Smith crawls out of turn number 4. I shouldn't say crawls because they're going 200 miles an hour, Chris. Smetana's there to the back bumper. 1 to go.
He's right there. He's on the back bumper right there. And you have to think right here, he might back off a little bit. Yeah, gives a little bit of space right here in 1 and 2. He's going to try to generate some momentum down the backstretch. I think the move will come going into turn 3.
Turn 3, just about 3/4 of a mile ahead. Peter Smetana goes down into the inside, headed into turn 3. Dustin Lewis goes along with Smetana. Smith has no help. He's side by side. Smetana loves the view in the rear view mirror. Smith and Lewis side by side, coming to the checkered flag. Smith has a run on Smetana. Dustin Lewis can't get it done. They crossed the line 3 wide. Peter Smetana wins the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. Wow, 3 cars with Aaron Smith end over end, Chris.
Yeah, Aaron Smith right there did all that he could right there in the closing stage. He was just a sitting duck down the backstretch. Peter Smetana backed up and gave himself a little bit of a gap in turns 1 and 2, ran really, really high through 1 and 2, so that way he could have some momentum off that corner, and there was just nothing that Aaron could do, just a big run down the backstretch, and the fact that he was able to clear him going into turn 3 is what enabled Peter Smetana to pick up the checkered flag here in the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic.
Absolute thriller of a finish. Smetana, Lewis, and Aaron Smith. Those are your top 3 drivers. Folks, we are going to go ahead and give away that 9-car set. That 9-car NASCAR diecast set for one of the Super Chatters, Tori Williamson. Tori Williamson, hopefully you're still watching. You are the winner. We appreciate your super chat tonight, helping veterans receive that mental health care that they so desperately need. You can find the directions on how to claim your prize in the video description for this video. Several people have already claimed their prizes from earlier in the evening, but Tori Williamson, you win that 9-car diecast set. If you know Tori, let her know that she won as we watch these drivers work their way. Chris, oh my goodness, walk us through this.
This is the side-by-side right here, but behind Peter Smetana. He's already made the pass right here on Aaron Smith, and at this point right here, once Lewis and Smith got side-by-side, there was nothing they could do. Peter Smetana covering the top right there, covering the run from Smith after, he got a little bit of a run off of turn 4, but it wouldn't be enough right there. Smetana was able to bring home the checkered flag. I told you, Ellis, at the beginning of this thing, we talked about it. Peter Smetana is really, really good in these 87 cars, especially at Daytona and Talladega, and he proved it again here tonight.
Peter ain't messing around at all. Folks, I can't say thank you enough for what a phenomenal event you've helped us put on here. Great racing, great fans in the chat, great support from our partners, including Card Gorilla and Simperior. You can find out more about them in the YouTube video description. I think we're ready to hear from our top 3 finishers. Of course, we're going to hear from Aaron Smith first. I'll see if I can't pull him in to the broadcast booth. Where are you, Aaron? Let's see here.
I've got him if you want me to pull him in.
Yeah, you might have an easier time with it than I do. Aaron Smith, you are the winner tonight here, or the third place finisher, sorry if I got you excited there. Third place finisher here at Daytona in the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic. You almost did it there at the end. Could you have done anything different to find yourself in victory lane those final 2 laps, Aaron?
I've seen too many of these things to know that if I went down to block Peter there on the backstretch, I either would have gotten myself wrecked or had way too much speed going into turn 3. So I was banking on a caution coming out to end the race, because I feel like that's a common trait with these kinds of events. These 87 cars, I knew that when I got up the gears there on that restart and got past Peter, that was going to be my best shot. And I was fortunate to have him stick with me there going into the white flag, but I knew he was going to go with a run. I didn't think the 33 was going to go with him, but as soon as that happened and I got side by side with the 33, it put me in a really bad spot. We hit out of turn 4, lost all the speed I would have had to try to make a run at that quarter panel, but had to shoot for the gap at the finish line and wrecked myself, cost myself P2. So not ideal, but if you're going to wreck yourself, it might as well be in the last 100 feet.
Hey, man, you did an awesome job. We enjoyed watching you out there all night long. You do such a great job during these races, whether it's at the Super Speedway or anywhere else. Talks about how difficult these cars were to get around the track, especially as the runs went on.
Yeah, with the recent surface model changes, I guess it made the cars better on the outside. That's not something I was used to until this week. I had a lot of experience with the Firecracker 400 doing that this past week and everything, but it's weird. Like, you don't usually want to sit on the outside in these things, but because everyone's running those bumps on the inside, it completely overheats your tires. You can't really go down there if you have a run or the top bogs down, so you had to account for that. You had to account for the top bogging down when you're in that lane. Just trying to avoid the accidents and be the one to kind of slow down the congestion there. But yeah, aside from getting wrecked on lap 3 and almost causing the worst crash in history, it was a pretty good spot to be in without using the fast repair, so I'll certainly take it.
Man, we enjoyed every lap of it. Before we let you go celebrate that podium finish, any shout-outs for the folks watching at home?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out all the folks coming from Yellow Vision there on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch, and YouTube, and all the other social media you can think of. The folks that wanted Goons and Stat Stack as well for their support, and all the folks for watching, y'all for broadcasting, and all the folks in the field for putting on a good race. Looking forward to getting back at it whenever y'all put up another special event, and yeah, have a good night.
Don't worry, keep an eye out. We appreciate it. Aaron Smith, P3 tonight at Daytona. Go celebrate.
10-4, thank you.
Right. Now, second place tonight here at Daytona in the Simperior Firecracker Summer Classic was Dustin Lewis, who I believe...
Ellis,
yeah, go ahead.
He's in the wrong server right now, so I'm going to go and try and hunt down Dustin and get him in the right server.
Down. Good call. I appreciate that. Folks, we are not able, some audio difficulties. We're not able to hear from the winner tonight, but we're definitely going to hear from our second place finisher, Dustin Lewis. And what was an absolutely thrilling finish over the course of the night. You can see Dustin had a dip in the race a little bit, fell back after getting involved in some trouble, but was able to work his way back up to finish second. Oh, so close to getting the job done here at Daytona. We're going to hear from him in just a moment.
I got him right here, Ellis.
There he is. Yeah, Chris, you caught up with Dustin Lewis, P2, here at Daytona.
Yeah, let's bring him in here. Dustin Lewis, our second place finisher. This is Slingshot Booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Uchi boys.
Hey, man, congratulations on a great run tonight. We saw you right there. Man, you had all kinds of things happening around you tonight. And right there in the closing stages, you put yourself in position to come out of this thing with the checkered flag. Just coming up a little bit short right there. Walk us through those final couple of restarts. We saw you kind of in the middle of that crash that happened right there down the back stretch on the first green, white checkered, and then you had a shot possibly on the inside right there of the race winner Peter Smetana. Walk us through those closing laps right there and what was going through your mind.
Well, let's take this back about 2 restarts. Me in the 07, we had a little bit of a plan there to kind of stick with each other and kind of use the draft to kind of pull each other along and maybe control the race from, I think I want to say it was maybe lap 74-ish all the way to the end. And then we had another yellow flag, and that put us in prime position to take the lead and maybe lead a lap. And that's, of course, when that wreck happened, which I'll take partial responsibility for the wreck because I did make a pretty bad block on the inside. They were 3 wide. I knew they didn't have much place to go, but I mean, I did what I had to do to try and stay up there. I knew if I got just absolutely dogpiled on, I was going to slide back and not be in a good position to try to make a run there at the end. But thankfully, we did come out of that with no damage, despite getting our rear tires picked up, forced into the 43, and wrecked, just basically half spun the entire turn 3 and 4 complex, but we managed to save it. And right there at the end, I felt like we had it just a little bit. We needed that little bit extra. I don't know what that little bit extra may have been. Well, I take that back. I do know what that extra would have been. The 43 getting loose coming off of turn 4 probably would have done it, because the 70 would have to check up. We would still be well in the throttle. We probably could have had it, but a second place is a second place, especially being the first time I've ever driven these cars at this track ever.
Well, hey, man, that's impressive right there. A great drive. Did anything really surprise you about these cars, being this the first time that you drove them here on this rough, bumpy surface?
Not really. I mean, I kind of knew going in with how much downforce these cars have, which is to say not much. I knew the speeds were going to be high, especially when everyone's on the track, everyone's drafting off one another. At one point, we hit 220 down the backstretch. I knew the right sides were going to be real crucial because of how much stress they're going to be on, because of the bumps, because of how much speed we're carrying. And that was kind of my strategy through the night, just mitigate how much stress those right front, that right rear are taking. And right there at the end, it kind of paid off because we were able to kind of pinch them a little bit, coming down off the banking onto the straightaways. So in a way, not really surprised by what these cars put on tonight, but if this is what the kind of product they're going to have, I need to run more of these races. These are fun.
Man, we had a great time watching you here tonight. You did a great job bringing home that P2 finish. Before we let you go celebrate this podium here tonight, we're going to turn it over for you, give you the floor right here for any shout-outs for any friends, family, sponsors, anybody watching at home that you'd like to shout out.
Shout out to my parents for watching this. I know Dad's probably already went to bed by now. He's going to go to work in the morning, but Mom's staying up with me watching the rest of the race. She came in and congratulated me on the second place shortly after the checkered flag was flown. But shouts out to them. Shout out to other family that was watching. I sent y'all's link out to quite a few people with my phone to get as many eyes on this race as possible. And also shout out to the primary sponsor on the hood. This is Black Diamond Enterprises. This is the new little organization that me and a few others are a part of. We're going to do setups, paints, other stuff like that. We got a server already up and going, and just this week we got the first NIS victory on one of our setups. So pretty cool things happening for the Black Diamond Enterprises crew.
Well, hey, man, that's awesome. Congratulations on that, and we'll definitely be looking out for you guys. And hey, congratulations on this second place finish, and we're going to let you go and let you go celebrate it. And this is Dustin Lewis, our second place finisher. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right, you heard from third and second. Unfortunately, audio issues prevented us from catching up with your winner, Peter Smetana. But what an absolute thriller of a race, Chris. It was fun to watch. It was fun to call. I think I'm probably glad I wasn't out on the track, just how crazy it was out there. But hey, it was definitely what we expected from Daytona in these 1987 stock cars. We'll go ahead and walk through the finishing results tonight, looking at how they stacked up officially at the end of the evening. Your winner, I believe, we already talked about Peter. Give me just a second to get this working on the iRacing end. But Smetana, Lewis, Smith, those are your top three. Chris Andrew Teft, after having some good run early, came up fourth tonight in that number 8 machine. Matthew Moniak, we heard him kind of making noise in the top 10 early on in the evening. He winds up in the fifth position, I should say. Curtis Eckert, who is challenging for the win the second half of the race, winds up 6th in that 08 machine. Alex Gates in the number 78 machine brings it home 7th, with Ryan Hinkle in that Mountain Dew mobile in P8. Corey Branch 9th, and Kenny Campos finishes 10th.
Yeah, we'll look at the rest of the field right here. Finishing the 11th position, Scott Thompson. Saw Scott up there near the front at certain points of the night. Laura Wiseman put herself in good position late in the going. I don't think that she had the tires that she needed, though, in the late stages. She'll have to settle for 12th. Connor Wallback, at times, he was running further up there at the front. He is going to finish P13 tonight. Steve Best kept it clean all night and brought it home in the 14th position. Cam Gillens also, I know he was in one of those big crashes, but he persevered and finished in 15th. Blake Hewlett is the last car on the lead lap in P16. in the number 87 machine. Joseph Sullivan, man, another driver, what might have been. He was caught up in a big crash in the late goes. He was in the big crash that was Jack Mason, Dustin Lewis were involved in. He finished in 17th. AJ Stevens also in that crash finished 18th. Scott Drost in 19th. And Randy Gross will round out the top 20.
21st on the finishing grid tonight was Jack Mace. You mentioned him earlier. Aiden Tram brings it home 22nd. A couple of hard-to-stomach finishes for those drivers who ran in the top 5 much of the evening. Ryan Warp in the number 45 brings it home P23 with Zach Mitchell. In the number 23 bringing it home one spot down the line. In 24th, Aaron Rowland brings it home 25th. And again, we're talking about drivers who had issues early on in the race here. Gavin Bruce, so fast in some of the practices that we ran, but involved in trouble early, finishes 26th, I should say. Stan Drew in the 88 brings it home 27th. Hunter Drew, 28th. 29th was Jordan Hall. Patrick Millett, fast early, but involved in some of the early trouble on lap number 9, brings it home 30th. Jonathan Stidham, 31st, and Brandon Vees did not start the race, finishes 32nd. What an absolute barn burn of a race. We didn't know who was going to win it until we know who won it at the very end, and that was Peter Smetana, the driver out of the Czech Republic. Such a wonderful job. Up front, much of the race, got put back a little bit, having to repair some damage and some pit strategy, put him further back in the pack, but he was able to climb his way back up to the front and be there when it counted. Chris, I had a great time. Johnny, you guys, awesome job with some of the new stuff we were trying out tonight. I know we'll continue to get more and more used to it, but hopefully the fans enjoyed watching at home. We'll do these, this isn't the only one of these we're going to do, so look out for more events in the future, more giveaways in the future. We are incredibly grateful for our partners at Simperior, as well as Card Gorilla, Whiplash Simcams, and the Headstrong Project for coming on board with us tonight and helping support this event. If you want to learn more about them, you can go to headstrongproject.com, see what you can do, whether you can donate or actively get involved and help those veterans receive the mental health care that they so desperately need after giving everything for our country. Chris, any parting thoughts before we pack her up tonight?
This was a lot of fun. It was great to get back in the booth with both you guys, and it was great to watch these drivers here tonight, man. They put on such a great show. I love the action that we saw on track. And these 87 cars at Daytona, I just feel like they're the best of both worlds. You got the highest speeds of the drafting tracks, but you also got the handling that you might see at maybe an intermediate track. And they put on a good show. And man, shout out to the drivers, everybody who participated in the chat tonight. Man, we accomplished so much here for a very worthy cause, and man, I cannot wait for the next special event that we might have down the road. So if you're watching at home, keep your eyes out, your ears open, and who knows when that might be.
All right, folks, keep an eye on the channel. Again, if you're watching, go back and double check. We'll post the winners of the prizes here in just a little bit. You can check the YouTube channel for an announcement to see that if you missed it. We're going to pack it up for tonight, folks. Look out for the next special event here on Slingshot TV. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So long from Daytona.